Hello, everyone. Welcome to Live from the Apocalypse. My name is Will. So glad to have you here joining us. If it's your first time joining us, we'll do a little bit of housekeeping up at the top, and then we'll get right into it. Yeah, welcome. This is a channel where we play tabletop games, mostly tabletop games, to raise money for charitable causes and aid organizations, nonprofits, things like that. So this is actually our first Nephilim stream. That's the name of this game, where we are benefiting Planned Parenthood. That is one of the charities that we chose for sort of this go-round on the channel. We had a bunch of suggestions from our community. Cast voted on it, and we picked two. So we're benefiting the Surfrider Foundation, which is a ocean conservation group, and then we are also benefiting Planned Parenthood. This particular game is going to be focusing on Planned Parenthood. Our other ongoing campaign called Pulp Fiction, which is a playthrough of the Call of Cthulhu adventure path. The Two-Headed Serpent is mostly benefiting Surfrider, and then we pepper the week with a couple of video game streams and stuff like that. So varies which causes those support, but that is the most important thing. We are raising money for Planned Parenthood, and at any point, if you like what you see on this channel, we ask that instead of subscribing to us or giving us bits or the normal Twitch stuff, that you take any money you would have spent on that and you put it towards these organizations. So that's the command. If you want to put it in chat at any point during the stream, it'll call up the link, and the bot should be posting it periodically as well. So super easy. Anything you can give, we appreciate, and yeah, just give them your money. They deserve it a lot more than we do, and they'll do better things with it. That being said, I think we're good to kind of get right on into it. Like I said, my name is Will. I am the Space Master. That's what we call the person running the game in Impulse Drive, which is the Powered by the Apocalypse system that we play this particular game in. And yeah, then we have our cast of characters around that. So we have Rouge, who is back playing Maeve Delaney after a brief absence during our last session. Maeve is the Intellect, which is one of the playbooks for Impulse Drive. Generally kind of your can be your science officer, can be your mechanic. Maeve is a little bit of everything. Yeah, and then we have Ellis Maldonado, who is the Hound playbook. Ellis is sort of our grizzled, gun-toting former space miner. We have Jaxper Sim, the Tempest. The Tempest playbook is sort of meant to be your catch-all for people who have been experimented on and now find themselves with a significant amount of trauma to express. And then,
so everyone.
So everyone's a Tempest in this game, yes.
We're all Tempests now, baby.
And last but certainly not least, we do have Charis Mori, played by Tayo. Formerly Charis Mori, I guess we should say, since your secret identity got exposed last session.
I don't know who I am anymore.
No one knows.
And finally, we can drop the pretense. Charis, played by Tayo, was the infiltrator the whole time.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
see, I thought he was the secret Hitler.
that comes later. That's the final boss in the game. I'm not saying it's not Charis, but you're not there yet. And yeah, so I guess I should probably stop saying Charis for the time being, but let's get right into where we left off. Last time on Nephilim, you all made landfall in San Antonio, Texas, or as it is more colloquially known in the future as shorthand, Santonio. This is sort of the hub of the Scrappers Union, which you are all members of. As you are well aware, you came here to look through your captain's, your missing captain's belongings that she had left behind in her storage unit. And you did find a few old photographs that unfortunately raised more questions than they really answered. But you do have a whole host of people now who knew her, and it's just a matter of tracking them down and extracting information. Unfortunately, some of your plans were derailed by the character formerly known as Charis's uh, unfortunate decision to come clean with Jaxper about who he is and what he works for, namely that he was a Shinshoku agent from Takamagahara. And as it turns out, Takamagahara did not take kindly to that reveal. What resulted was an unfortunate standoff that lasted for a pretty much an entire night, was very tense, although ultimately you won. At the
I'm
We won.
alive.
You are, yeah, Charis was alive, and they did agree basically to leave you alone. To basically say, they basically said, walk away and don't talk about us to anybody, and we won't bother you. Unfortunately, in the aftermath, let me get through the recap. Let me get through the recap. We'll do that.
Sorry.
What unfortunately resulted from that, what came out in the tail end of that conversation, was that your comrade, Maeve, whom you'd left behind out of concern for her safety, had been claimed as a casualty of that interaction. Takamagahara had decided to send a message through her, and upon returning to the to your little ensuite where you were staying, you did discover that she was dead. But Jaxper and Charis, by pooling their collective nanotechnology, were able to link up between each other and with your with some of the other people that are living in Jaxper's head. That's a whole other thing. We're not going to get into that right now. To basically bring Maeve back to life miraculously. And yeah, basically where we had left off was Maeve regaining consciousness, as far as she is aware. Pretty much unaware that anything had transpired. Maeve, you basically felt exhausted, but you didn't feel any sort of other like side effects or anything like that. And Ellis threw up a bunch because the laws of life and death had been violated in front of him.
Yeah, life no longer has any meaning, and existence is a thin veil over the horrifying cosmos. So,
Uh-oh.
yeah. Ellis is doing great.
We're all on board. We're all on
Huh?
board.
Yeah. He's having a brown liquor nap, is where Ellis is at the moment.
We've all been there. So where we will pick up, there was a sort of a short time skip. Maeve, basically, you woke up, you were like, what? Then you pass right back out because your body is exhausted. And then the rest of you kind of had like a little sit down chat, but not much really came out of it except a collective throwing up of the hands and sort of saying, what do we do now? So I think probably where we will resume is the next day. Maeve, you basically slept for like, I'm going to say you basically slept for like 16 hours straight through the night. Basically, like, I don't think anybody tried to wake you up, but they wouldn't have been able to rouse you even if they had tried. And yeah, do any of you sleep that night? Let's start with that question.
Probably not. I think I've got Maeve on like he went in there probably with like a saline drip and like you know, making sure that she stays hydrated.
Mm-hmm.
But it and is basically just like probably sitting there working on his project but not sleeping.
Okay.
Does blacking out count as sleeping
Yeah.
in the mechanical game universe terms?
22-year-old me would say yes.
And
So,
yes.
Let's go with that.
Ellis sleeps like a drunk baby.
So you've met 22-year-old me.
Exactly.
Cool. Where's Charis's head? So much just happened. Like, you basically just lost the organization that raised you. And I say lost because I guess I don't really know if that bothers Charis or not.
2019-15 is currently having existential crisis.
Right, 2019-15-R.
Aren't we
if I'm not
all?
mistaken?
Yep. 2019-15 for short. So yeah, definitely not sleeping. If anything, I'm kind of picturing him maybe sitting on the rooftop of whatever our little suite is in, and probably out of paranoia, keeping watch over everything, probably using that as an excuse to like not currently deal with anything and not try to sleep.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you were sort of staying in like it is a hotel essentially, but it is a hotel specifically set aside for the use of members of the Spacers Union, Scrappers Union rather. And so yeah, there you can get roof access and just kind of chill up there for the evening. And yeah, I mean it's got to be a weird feeling considering like, you know, this was all you had ever known, and Charis obviously, like, in your backstory, we've established this, we've talked about this several times over the course of the game, Charis was sort of, like, sent out here by being reprimanded. Like, this was a punishment, essentially, that you were sent out here. And yeah, I mean, Charis has always kind of kept his distance from the rest of the crew, who very much kind of, like, fell into these familial patterns. Has that changed for Charis in the wake of this? Like, do you still think of these people are kind of just like a means to an end, or coworkers, or do you feel a little closer to them?
I feel a little closer. I feel as though I owe a debt now, which I don't enjoy at all. I find it rather embarrassing, and the connections we've made, I now have to take some time to like re-examine, because all of it was under the lens of me being Charis Mori, and now that I am no longer Charis Mori, I don't really know how I feel yet, I guess. Other than I am indebted to them, and I did make a promise to help find Grace after this, and for now, that's what I'm working with.
All right. So, as you sort of finish these reflections, and the sun starts to come up over Santonio, you pull yourself up from where you were sitting and make your way back down through the staircase to the floor where your room is. We'll say it's the 8th floor, and yeah, you step into the apartment. You see Ellis. You see Ellis probably passed out on the couch, much where you left him.
Mostly.
Yeah. And then Jaxper. You said you were basically just staying up, right?
Yeah, he's on the couch, basically in what Charis would recognize, or 2919 would recognize as like standby mode, where he's not putting in any effort to look particularly human because he's doing a bunch of processing.
That makes sense. So yeah, you see Jaxper just kind of sitting there, kind of glassy-eyed. You know, you've seen people fall asleep with their eyes open before. This is what it looks like. And yeah, I think at that moment you sort of hear a rousing. Why did we all switch places? That was super weird. 1 second.
Oh, I changed my nickname. I didn't know it was gonna mess around with that. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, because it's alphabetic.
Yeah, that checks out. Okay, give me 1 sec.
Oh, Discord.
Oh,
Sorry.
Discord. We should use something else. Cool. All right, so everybody's good now. Everybody's in the right spot. Although it would be pretty fun to leave the captions where they are and then just rearrange people's visual windows.
That would be hilarious.
But anyway, so as you step in and you see your comrades on the couch, you hear a stirring as the door to Maeve's room opens and Maeve steps out, bleary eyed and looking like somebody who just slept for 16 straight hours.
She was dead for some of it.
She was dead for a little bit, yeah.
So yeah, between the death and the sleeping, how long was Maeve out? Like full 24, or she wasn't dead that long?
Probably full 24, maybe even longer than that, because it was nighttime. Somebody checked on Maeve, saw she was already asleep, and decided not to bother her because she would be safer there, or so they suspected. And then went out. And so basically, yeah, I'm gonna say that it's probably been like 32 hours all told, including the time when you were asleep and then dead and then sleeping again. So
You lost a lot of time.
you did.
Shit.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, you step out and you didn't really get an explanation before for why everyone was freaking out, but it's obvious to Maeve that something happened. Everybody is being weird. Ellis is just passed out, which, Ellis enjoys a drink, but you don't normally see him drinking to the point of unconsciousness. Jaxper looks barely registering as like human, and the only person who looks even vaguely, normal is 2019, whom you would know as Charis.
Hey, what's going on? What shouldn't we be getting going? What's everybody doing?
Surprised to see you up.
What do you mean? Did I sleep in? Like what the hell happened?
You should probably take a seat for this one. You should probably be laying down anyway.
What? I just got a lot of sleep. What do you mean I need to be laying down?
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know how the best way to say
I'll look over at Jax and just quick nod. 2019-15 is going to raise his hand and kind of put it on Maeve's shoulder. My hand is going to kind of glow blue a little bit with the nanites, and maybe Maeve sees a little bit of the blue under her skin as well. This happened.
What did you do?
So, basically what had happened was that it turns out that Charis isn't like Charis, like that's not his like real name, but he's been working for a shadowy organization that really did not like it when he revealed to me that he was part of the shadowy organization, and so we might have gone hardcore up against that shadowy organization, and they decided to just straight kill everybody associated with the problem, including you. So Charis and I brought you back to life. Because nanites.
Wait, so is Ellis dead?
No.
Ellis rustles groggily, rolls probably off the couch onto the floor at this point.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
Yeah, I mean, if he's gonna wish he's dead in about, I don't know, I'm guessing 45 minutes.
Did you have to bring him back to life too?
No, I have no idea. No. They just went after you because they're dicks.
And you were sleeping.
And you were sleeping. Easy target. Cowards. Fuck them.
What were the rest of you doing while I was sleeping?
Fucking around and finding out, mostly.
Okay, so let me get this straight. The rest of you all went up against an evil organization left me here sleeping by myself. They came and killed me. And then you brought me back to life. Is that what I'm supposed to understand happened?
I mean, we don't really understand how that happened either.
I also want to make it very clear we did not leave this apartment with the intent of going up against a massive evil organization. We left with the intent of getting information on Grace. Then the evil organization tried to kill the pair of us, and we thought, well, fuck that, and plans changed. So, you know, that's how that worked. It wasn't like, oh, we're just gonna go leave Maeve out of this. It was like,
we're gonna go and then we're gonna leave Maeve out of this. Yes. Okay.
Well, we're gonna go and do the thing we told Maeve that we're gonna do, and then oh shit, plans changed.
Yeah,
because you were asleep. Because we looked in on you and you were asleep. You were just asleep, and then we came back and you were no longer asleep, but rather dead.
but you're not anymore.
But you're not anymore. You're alive because Charis and I are really good at this stuff, it turns out. Right?
Yeah.
So this is overall, this is a good thing, because Charis, or whatever, is now not part of the shadowy organization anymore and can actually put his resources into finding Grace, and you're still alive, which is great, and really what the goal was here the whole time. And Ellis is
on hearing his name for the fourth time, Ellis is gonna get to that barely on his feet shamble, and then just shuffle into the nearest bathroom, loudly mumbling, "Ghost, robot, ghost, fucking ninja, fucking robot, ninja, ghost," and just slam the door, and presumably pass out in the bathroom.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be fine.
He's alive.
Yeah.
Also, an accurate summation of the events of the prior evening.
He's been working it over.
There were kind of fucking ghost robot ninjas.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So that's what happened. You might have a couple of nanites, which
little tiny robot thingies that
I mean, mine are really, really small. You will not notice them. Eventually, they will pass out of your system, and you will not they're cell sized. You're not gonna have to worry about those.
Mine, and he kind of pulls down his collar a little bit, and a couple of nanites squeeze out from the pores of his skin.
Oh god.
And just, dude, your whole organization is so fucked up.
I don't disagree with you. But Maeve is alive.
Yeah.
And only has a couple.
possibly a robot. What?
No. You are definitely
ghost robot.
You are definitely
Ellis
not.
pops his head in from the bathroom.
a ghost robot.
You are definitely not a ghost robot. You are a person who has implanted medical assistance devices, like a pacemaker, or a cyber arm, or any of those other things. It's just
Or cicadas.
Yeah, just cicadas. It's just cicadas. It's just fucking cicadas. Jesus, man.
You have implanted medical cicadas.
Calm down. You're just a cicada.
Just a cicada.
So, is it gonna work like yours now with the weird, creepy stuff in the if I die I turn into just like the
There's really
Okay, no,
only
that
one way
never
to find
happened.
I
out.
don't really know.
No.
She might be
No.
referring to Elliot, who like burned into like a steaming nanomulch.
No. He didn't actually do that. That was like he was fucking around. He left a corpse. Like, no, that's not gonna
That was
happen.
a hallucination. Okay.
That was it wasn't a hallucination. It was like he was like projecting himself outside of his body using nanites, you know. And
Oh, yeah.
anyway, he's like, so you know,
He had a real
left
human body that you put
He
in,
had
in the ground.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh, he's real pissed off about that, actually, and he's
Um,
getting real loud right now.
Which
So
kind of reminds me, I forgot I had these.
Real
You should
human bodies?
probably take these back. I leave to fetch from my, I don't know, rucksack that little vial of Elliot's nanites that I scooped up after we shotgunned him to death.
Yeah, you did do that.
hey,
And I will hand them over to Jaxper.
thanks.
Forgot about
Dude.
these.
You're totally gonna hand these over to the sons of bitches, weren't you?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Sure was.
He's just gonna pick them up and like just sort of absorb them.
Gross.
Yeah, we're cool with finding out Charis was part of a shadowy organization that was doing the whole time he
no.
was with us. Cause why?
Oh no, we are deeply not cool with that, or we're deeply not cool with that, but the exigencies of the situation were such that it fucking was superseded by aforementioned exigency. I'm using a lot of big words, and I'm not entirely sure what any of them mean.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
You really
Can you
just
please start talking? Because I'm really getting bad at this.
you really
man.
just had to be there, you know. We love Charis now.
No. So basically,
While Jaxper's drawing a blank,
yeah.
I'm gonna data dump all of the shit that I stole to everybody's handhelds.
Oh my god, that's not helping.
Alice doesn't have
Okay.
his on mute, so you hear from the bathroom just the like standard iPhone chime just go off like 300 times, and then you hear a scream.
Son of a bitch.
Because Ellis is probably the crew member that 2019-15 liked the most. There's probably more notes about Ellis than anybody else.
He's not. I want to be clear. He's not reading them. He's just mad that his fucking Nokia keeps going off.
Maves is just
So-
like a TXT file that just says like young and then nice question mark.
Dude, did you make me a D&D character sheet? What the fuck is this?
I was bored.
Yeah, it's fair. All right.
No, so those are real gym stats run through a learning algorithm that spit out your actual.
I spent a lot of time watching all of you.
Just normal
Like-
stuff.
I mean, she's not fucking wrong. It's not like we talked about this. So like, what the fuck were you? What, like why? Like why? You were following us for what? To what end?
I was trying to add another gem into Taka's crown. That gem being the Scrappers Union.
What could they possibly want with the Scrappers Union?
Yeah, how we are a nasty, fucked up gem, man. This is like
A nasty, fucked up, underregulated gem.
so they want to instill regulations or engage in their own unregulated trade shenanigans.
that one.
Well, I will interject. I will interject with a salient setting note here. One thing to keep in mind, and this would probably occur to Jaxper in the moment, is like, as we were sort of discussing prior to the stream about proprietary softwares and measures being taken to ensure that you have to buy directly from the manufacturer, and trying to dissuade you from like modifying things or building things yourself. Takamagahara, because of its hold on the basically on the space around the Earth, is where the vast majority of ship production happens. Because it is far easier to build a ship in in space than it is to build it on Earth and then transport it up through the atmosphere and then out into space. There's a lot more opportunity for things to go wrong there. So Takamagahara does a lot of ship production. Controlling the Scrappers Union is one of the best ways to ensure that they get very cheap parts secondhand before anybody else has a chance to get their hands on them, and B, keeps them out of the hold of people who might modify their ships themselves or build ships themselves and skirt the line of Takamagahara production in the process.
As well as take advantage of the mass amount of ships, part of the Scrappers Union, for ease of smuggle.
It's true. Scrappers talk.
So yeah.
I hate all of that. But there it is.
They don't call it capitalist hell future for nothing. All right. I think around this moment, Maeve, you realize exactly, your body kicks in and tells you exactly how hungry you are. And I think the rest of you probably see Maeve like sway on her feet just a little bit before catching herself.
Let's get you some food. Yeah, food. We'll cook you some food. Here's a milkshake.
That's mine.
It's Jaxper. There's always milkshakes.
Generally speaking, that is true, although I don't think you, I think you probably all have sort of burned through what was provided for you. Keep in mind that this is basically a hotel. It is not known for its amenities. And, the Scrappers Union campus that you are on would want to encourage you to, spread your wealth around a little bit to the other businesses that are included in their acumen.
Yeah, okay.
I think I saw Dairy Queen downstairs.
Yeah, we'll go. We'll go. We can go get you. We can get you a milkshake.
There are all
like
food
the
is
bathroom
milkshakes.
door then swings open. And I was like, "What do you mean by weaponized chili?"
I mean, would you like a
No,
milkshake?
there's a tracker on here, and you can like workouts for Jaxper, and then there's chili notes and a toxin rating, and I take offense to that, and then he collapses again.
Well, try not to take too much offense. I used quite a bit of your chili, actually, in developing my toxins. You have a bit of a gift for that, anyway.
Really missed your calling there.
I don't
Poison
think
Master Ellis Maldonado.
I don't think that's as complimentary as you think it is, Charis.
He like stands back up, and
sorry.
you're both given the impression that Maeve might pass out, but Ellis also probably needs food.
We're gonna go. We're gonna go shopping. We'll be back and get food and things. Are you guys gonna be okay here? Yeah.
Try not to
Yeah,
start
like,
any
from
fights
a
with shadowy organizations while you're out.
Man, shit just happens to us.
From a prone position, you just get the...
Yeah, so shrimp poppers. Got it.
Don't buy poppers?
I'll be back.
I've had a lot of poppers. I've never had shrimp poppers. So you make your way out of the building, and you can find you can absolutely find a location. Is this just 2019 15-R going to track down food, or are you all leaving as a group?
Ellis is not leaving.
Ellis is not leaving.
I think it's just the Nano Bros going.
Okay. All right. Cool.
And leaving the human contingent to process.
Okay.
I'll just
One and a
go,
half humans.
just because I'm like still very paranoid. I'm gonna like I've already exited. I'll like open the door again, stick a finger in, and like leave a little cicada drone.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case.
Okay. All right. Like a fly on the wall, as it were.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so you make your way out. You are able to track down, pretty much whatever food you want. We'll say, because this makes sense, that the bottom half of the of this hotel, the bottom floor of this hotel, rather, resembles the ring gate that you were all on, in so much that there is sort of a food court area, basically solely occupied by various food dispensing machines. So you can pretty much find whatever you want. None of it is like home cooked or fancy, but it's, realistically a hell of a lot better than what you'd normally be able to get your hands on here on Earth. San Antonio is a little bit of a different story because it is, as we've established, it is a little bit more hands-off when it comes to the party that controls the Earth and the mega corporations that tend to run the cities themselves. Because of its association with the Scrappers Union and its location as a entrance point for one of the Takamagaharas, it has been able to survive more independently from megacorp presence than other cities on Earth. So the bottom, so being able to find whatever you want is no problem, and it's discounted because of your membership in the Scrappers Union.
Handy.
Yeah, there are perks. Yeah, so you can grab whatever you want, however much of it you want, and then kind of just pop on back up to your room with that. You do kind of notice that there are a lot of people here around this time of day, making, conversation, business lunches, just eating quietly by themselves. As you two walk in to get your food, and pretty much the entire time you're there, you can't shake the feeling that a lot of people are watching you. A lot of people are paying attention to you. They're not being, some of them aren't being completely obvious about it. Some of them are, staring at you, and then when you look over, they sort of politely turn away. But other people are just sort of brazenly doing it.
Are you seeing this?
Yeah.
Do you think we should split?
I think we should just go back. Just get our food and go, man. Like, are we gonna find out what the fuck is up without causing a fight? Hey, guy. Who's gonna go shout out to one of the guys who's like just watching?
Okay. One of the ones who's just like brazenly doing it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Hey, guy, what up?
Subtle.
You like what you see?
He is this. So this guy that you talk to, he has a very sort of typical scrapper look to him. He's wearing like fairly dirty coveralls. There's some kind of insignia over like the breast of it. You don't know if it's like the symbol of his ship or if, he got it secondhand from a different place. But yeah, he is just kind of this actually probably very sort of thin man, largely bald, with like a scraggly sort of like facial hair thing, but not like a beard or anything distinguishable by its own designation. And he just
just making it very clear, Jaxper is fully just exhausted
Yeah.
and tired and is not being aggressive.
No, for sure, yeah, and I think that comes across. He like nods to you as you call him out, and he says, Nephilim, right?
Yep.
I have my hand on my nano blade.
What's the word on the street about the Nephilim?
He stands up, and you're not sure like what he's gonna do. Like he kind of stands up sharply, and for a second you're like bracing yourself, and then he sort of reaches for his back pocket and he says, a lot of folks heard about what happened, and Grace, people knew her. It's not much, but I'd really like to get your food if you don't mind. He like pulls out a wallet.
Dude, I actually I really appreciate that. But we're scrappers too, so we know it's hard to come by. So, keep your money.
I push Jax aside and order a larger milkshake.
All right.
Dude. All right.
Like there's no shame. We everybody does this for a reason, and we look after each other.
Yeah. You knew Grace?
Yeah. I mean, not well or anything, but she wouldn't hesitate to throw her name around or lend you some money, whatever it took, to get flying again. Before I had my own ship, I was on a different one, and we got a piece of debris, took off one of our foils. Didn't, we hadn't finished the job. Union wasn't going to pay. Didn't think we were going to make it out of there. And Grace covered it. And, my captain paid her back, of course, but I don't think she would have cared.
Nah, probably not.
And so it's the least I can do. And you like look around at that. He kind of turn like half turns and sort of scans the room, and you sort of follow his gaze, and you see like most of the people who are staring at you, the people who are like trying to hide it are not anymore, and they're all just sort of like nodding at you. Nobody's really saying anything. Nobody's making a big show of anything, but they all sort of nod at you too, and you get the sense that if you were to ask for anything, you'd be able to get it.
The only thing we really want to know right now is how we can find her. Because I think not a lot of people know, but she was taken alive.
This guy, he looks a little, his expression changes a little bit. He looks a little sad. His expression, it was this sort of resolute, very open kind of kindness to his face, and it softens a little bit like that. His head tilts a little bit, and like somebody who's getting, sympathy pains. And it's a big system out there. But he like reaches out with one of these long gangly arms and puts a hand on your shoulder and squeezes it a little reassuringly, and he says, I hope you find her.
Appreciate it. Appreciate everything.
Look, it's a long shot, but if you want to post something up on the boards, maybe somebody might have heard something. I don't know. I guess if you're looking for somebody who doesn't want to be found, that's a good way to do it. But if you're looking for somebody and you don't want to be found, different story.
Yeah. We'll have to, talk to the crew. Thanks again, man.
Yeah, no.
It's been a hard couple of months.
Yeah. If you need anything, Mizzy. My name's Izzy, and you just ask for the Pompeii.
Appreciate that. And Jaxper will get the food when it comes and
Yeah.
head back.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll just like slurp my milkshake and kind of just toast and follow Jaxper out.
I think as you stop and you like raise your glass, obviously you didn't mean for this to happen, but when you do that, everyone in the room who's been watching you, almost as one, like stands up and raises whatever they were holding, raises whatever they were drinking, also back to you. And like they don't say anything, but there is a collective scraping of chairs that is almost deafening, as probably 40 or 50 different scrappers, some of them sitting together at tables, some of them sitting alone, just all stand up and hold their drinks up.
I'll pour a little bit of my milkshake out on the floor.
For the homies.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And yeah, you've got your food and your milkshakes, and you can head back upstairs. Which, speaking of which, Ellis and Maeve, how do you pass the time while your comrades are retrieving food for you?
Ellis is loudly, angrily, and badly making hotel room coffee.
Okay. It is a deeply frustrating process.
It's deeply frustrating, and it's going to produce an awful, horrible brew.
That
But
is
he's
true.
dedicated, and he's very drunk.
He even burns the coffee.
Somehow there's water in places that don't make sense, because you have to walk the pitcher from the bathroom over to the coffee maker, but like the TV got wet.
Maeve has like sat on the couch and is just like watching this happen for a little bit. And then
Anytime he catches your eye, he actually looks a little scared of you. Not like horrified, but that little like Alice is edgy. He's not, and it's not because you get the impression again, it's not like this physical fear thing, but like he does not know how to talk to you right now. He is not in that place. So again, coffee.
And Maeve, we didn't really talk about this before the stream or anything, but how are you feeling? Like, we didn't really talk about the effects that this might have had on you. Obviously, you don't remember anything because you were dead. You were asleep and then you were dead and then you woke up. But does Maeve feel different?
I think for the moment, it's just like everything feels a little bit off. Almost like that feeling of like vertigo you get when like something is just a little bit not the way it should be normally. And for the moment, that's the only thing she notices aside from the aforementioned exhaustion and hunger and all of those things she has going on. So I think it's almost as if it's like calibrating
Right.
a little bit.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right.
I think the gurgly plastic crap machine pumps out what I required of it, and he like pours it into 2 little cups, and then just like proffers one to Meg, or to Maeve on the couch, just like puts it down on the coffee table.
She'll
Sits
take
down.
it. She doesn't really sip at it. She just sort of is like holding it and like,
There's a lot of coffee grounds in it. And Alice.
thanks.
Mm.
So, what do you think about all this with Charis, not Charis?
Well, so, you were dead for a while.
I
I
mean,
haven't really processed much about that, or aside from that,
I guess
I'm
that's
glad
fair.
you got better.
It's I guess it's a little less real for me because I don't remember anything besides going to bed.
Yeah, I don't know how real it is for me either, but it apparently happened. Yeah. The
Ellis was pretty much ready to like blow up another Takamagahara.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's cooled a little on that. He's not a dumb man. He's not a particularly studied man, but he's not a dumb one. And while he's had his dealings with drug and alcohol organizations, that sort of gangs on Earth, you know, the Shinchoku are a very different experience. Much like his alarm at the auditors is that, yes, at the time, let's go blow up the fucking temple. The next day, he's like, well, she's not dead. So, can't throw my life away doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
And I mean, we also talked a little bit at the like at very end of the last session about how like this the potential impact that this could have on Ellis's entire understanding of the world, because like Ellis has put so many people in the ground and has never.
Is there a final answer for him? Not a religious man, maybe, but yeah, this is very, very altering for him in a very alarming way.
Yeah, I think you said that like Ellis isn't used to happy end. Ellis didn't believe in happy endings.
No, things don't go good. Like, you don't get people back. That's a gate you don't walk back through. So this is strange to him on both a literal and a metaphysical level.
Mhm.
So he's gonna chew his coffee, and try not to throw up on himself on the couch.
All right. Fair enough. And I think just as you are like on your last, just as you are like teetering on the edge of like, am I going to throw up again? There's nothing for me to throw up. You smell food, and the door opens, and 2019 15-R and Jaxper come in with armfuls of various foods.
Got you a blizzard.
Is it the one with Pedialyte in it?
I'd turn it upside down. I don't know.
Alright.
Well, it ain't moving, so.
It ain't moving and neither am I.
You take a bite of it and you taste the familiar taste of Pedialyte.
Electrolytes and cookies.
Thank God.
The future is a beautiful place.
Wow. Hold on.
It's got everything the body needs.
Cookies, cream, and potassium salts.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You return after your somewhat unexpected wholesome moment.
We got food and an idea.
What?
So we've been trying for the most part, mostly because of me and 2019 over here. You're gonna need a name, dude.
That's true. It was a terrible year.
Yeah.
My designation is 201915-R.
Yeah, but my designation is also a long string of numbers and letters, and I go by Jaxper because it's just easier.
I was almost designated Elizabeth.
Oh, you would have made such a good Elizabeth.
Don't you think? I think.
I think.
I just figured that was what Ellis was short for.
No. Ellison, but thank you.
Allison's a good name too.
So you two are coming up with more plans, huh?
So our previous, well, we didn't come up with this plan actually. Somebody else did. Cause see, it turns out all of the Scrappers Union knew Grace.
Yeah,
Right.
she was well renowned. Did you not catch on to that? She kept getting free drinks when we go into bars and stuff. She got like 5 phone calls a day. No one ever calls me.
Right.
Well,
I'm not
saying there ain't reasons for it. I'm just pointing it out.
I'm trying not to be. I'm not gonna try to be mean here, but
You can be mean. I don't give a shit. I forget I have a phone. But regardless,
you do. Your phone is A, on not any networks. Also B,
gotta stay off the grid.
she was an attractive woman.
Did you think everyone was hitting on her?
Yeah, obviously.
Well, I mean, it's probably like 15% that. But like, no, she solved problems and had, allies and friends and shit.
I was only
People
on the
that
ship
relied
for like
on her.
3 months before she got taken.
Well, all right. Well, yes, your point is very valid and well
But-
made. She was well liked and respected.
My point is that we've been trying to do this quietly under the table so that people don't notice us. But we did that real badly because I am who I am. And
Sure.
No subtlety.
no.
Grenades.
No.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No. Grenades, yeah, all that.
Mhm,
Yeah, I've got these two in the back of my head are providing me with some instant replays. It's really fucking great. It's really fucking great, guys.
That's a fun sentence. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, dude, knock it off.
This is going. I love this story so far.
I pull up holographs of Jaxper fucking shit up.
Oh my god.
Did we need it in 3D? I was there
Oh
for
my
like
God.
60% of those.
I'm trying to finish a fucking sentence. All right? We could put something up on the boards, on the job boards, ask people for information about Grace, just blast it fucking out there and see if all that
Oh.
goodwill she stirred up bring something back. Because
Yeah, but when you do that, you get the folks that took Grace's attention, right? We talked about
we've
that.
evidently already got their attention because we had that fucking psychopath who tried to kill me and Charis.
Yeah.
For being, fucking.
Do you want her to know that we're on Earth? And that we're alive and still doing this shit? Because she kind of, I think, was under the impression that, we gave the fuck up on Mars, or at least that was what I thought we were going for.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. A lot of hands makes for easier work. Problem is that you kind of telegraph your whole situation that way. Like if we involve 30 people, we get 6 ships. We also get 30 leaks and 30 chances of another one like her. Because who else is a Puritan in the Scrappers? I fucking don't know.
How many fucking, Shinshoku are in the fucking Scrappers?
Fair point. I doubt that. I'm sorry, I've forgotten your designation. I'm not very good with numbers. I apologize. That's rude of me.
201915-R.
Got it. Well,
Ricky.
201915. What did you call that?
He's Ricky. It's the R.
Are we going with Ricky?
I'm going with Ricky.
That's presumptive. Regardless, I doubt he's the only one, right? Because that's not how spy agencies work. So yeah, I mean, we can certainly, now that we're here, ask around to some more discreet members of her extended interest. But I don't think that we should film a local cable news spot or anything. Ricky? Did we like Ricky? 201915. Ricky? Do you like?
We'll workshop that.
Yeah, let's have a brainstorm after we make sure that everyone's not dead. Everyone who's not dead, we're not dead, right? This isn't purgatory or like hell. I just need to make sure because
the
veil of reality is kind of thin.
To the best of my knowledge, no.
Okay, so then before we get on to the subject of our grand quest, how the fuck did you bring another person back to life? Could I get that and explain like I'm 5 terms? Because as far as I know, that one's still a little tricky for medical science.
Yeah, very, very carefully is the answer.
That's cute. Ricky, could you help me out with this one?
That's not sticking.
I didn't like it either when I said it. It felt gross coming out of my mouth.
Yeah, okay.
Could I just maybe some help for the old mule who's a little worried about the concept of death? What?
My nanites are designed to put back together organic tissue, including brain matter. They're also designed to store a whole lot of information, including personality information, all the kind of matrix.
That's why you got extra boys in your head. Okay.
Now I have I have my friends, and fucking Elliot. The other, so my nanites can do that. Charis's nanites are really fucking good power source. Because what my nanites don't necessarily do particularly well is record information outside of my body or really do anything other than that. So, but I can.
So this is like a cocktail of various nanite technologies where somehow Crucible and Taka's independent streams of nanite development made an AB epoxy where if the two of you put special robots in somebody, they don't die no more? Is that special just for Maeve's case, or can we start up a hospital?
Well, to be fair, I don't know if our nanites are working in concert or if they've combined.
I mean, I feel like I might not be the most appropriate person to point it out, but y'all broke death, so that's
kind of, but hospitals do that a little bit all the time. Like, not like all the time, but people die and are resuscitated all the time. Or like
Speaking of
frozen on the point.
hospitals, should I be checked by a doctor or something?
I have no idea.
Probably. I mean, I don't know. Dude, it's not like I've done this before either. This had seriously, what we just did had about a 30% chance of working.
I'm confused how we even know numbers
we
on
know
that.
this is temporary and I might die again?
Ooh, that's a good point.
No, highly unlikely at this point. In my experience of doing stupid shit with nanites.
Yeah, you have died
Didn't
before.
melt in
I've
the
watched
first-
that happen.
Yeah, well, we break. If
I fixed
All
you.
right.
if it doesn't melt in the first 6 hours, you're good to go.
And it's
Are
been
we
more than
talking
6 hours since I died?
Maybe.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
And
no, you were
slept
dead for a while.
16 hours. You slept for like 16 hours. You are fine.
Is this toaster oven? Where if she can turn on and heat up to the right temperature and come back down, it's all right. As long as you don't smell burning plastic. Babe, do you smell burning plastic?
I don't know what I smell.
I think we should go to probably or call a doctor. Is there a nanite doctor? Is that a
maybe
doctor specialty?
We plug in. I want to make sure that they've integrated.
Yeah, do more medicine. That's for sure.
I don't like the sound of anybody in this room plugging in and finding out what's going on with this.
Well, I can't. So
we're kind of the subject matter experts in the room.
Yeah, we super are, but also super no one is. This hasn't happened before. You're asking me to explain something that neither of us have ever done. Like, Maeve,
okay. All right.
when I tell you that this had a very strong likelihood of not working, I am not like making that up to make myself sound cool or to make this be like some kind of like
I don't think anyone's underimpressed by the fact that you defeated death in hand-to-hand combat checks, bro. I mean, what I'm talking about is I'm curious of the mechanics and the repeatability and the impacts upon
cellular reparation, the fact that my blood nanites are capable of carrying dramatically increased amounts of oxygen compared to red blood cells, and the fact that Charis's nanites are great at information storage, retrieval, and providing power.
So again, I guess let me rephrase this.
Epoxy. Here's the thing I want you to know, the thing that you need to know. Our nanites are not like an AB epoxy. Like, if my buddy 19 tried this, and one of Charis's buddies from back in the Ataka tried this, they still might not be able to do it. This is because Charis and I were driving.
Okay, so but could you two perfect the technique?
Also because we were working on someone who we both knew.
We could try it again on you, Ellis, if you really want.
I don't want to go and kill a whole mess of people just to practice bringing them back to life.
I do believe that does violate the medical ethics code. I think that someone named Hippocrates wrote about that at some point.
I'm a spy.
Well, I wouldn't listen to that guy. He sounds like a hypocrite.
You do. Do spies not believe in Hippocrates? He did exist. He's real. It's not like a Jesus situation where there's doubt. Okay, yeah. I mean, I guess we can table it. It just feels rather substantial to acknowledge the looming immortality of humanity. I could swirl up some of Grace's more reliable contacts if y'all want to get Maeve checked out by a real medical doctor.
Well, you guys know a doctor.
Get checked out by a real medical doctor.
I think the two of us like that as a concept. Given that we're dead.
But you guys know a doctor? Don't forget.
You mean all the way back on
Yeah,
Mars?
back on Mars.
The one who basically said lose my number?
Yeah, don't he hate her? I mean, I guess we could.
Listen, we already have a doctor NPC. We don't need to make more.
You could put his twin on Earth, if that's more simple for you, spamster.
Here we go. Then we wouldn't have to cast anyone new.
I'm just saying, work it like a soap opera.
There we go.
It works if you work it. Anyway.
Yeah, no, you can absolutely find a doctor if you are so inclined. Obviously, not hard. And I'm sure Scrappers Union probably doesn't keep like doctors on retainer or anything like that, but I'm sure they've got deals with some of the doctors around San Antonio, and you could certainly get a recommendation at the very least.
At least find ourselves a medical vending droid who can evaluate her level of dead.
There are definitely auto docs. You robbed one of them, you may recall.
Dan.
We rerouted its delivery address.
Listen,
If we're gonna undo death, I'm down with us just totally recreating the concept of everything we've done. I've just introduced some people to some very dense friends at high velocity in short time periods.
it sounds better when you say it that way.
It do, don't it? All right, who wants to go knock some bushes and talk to some very drunk people in some very dark holes with me, or am I going to solo this little adventure during my existential crisis? Or do we want to go as a group and maybe do Doctor first? I don't know. Time is meaningless and the sun is a horrifying orb, so whatever anyone's got going on.
I shove a spoonful of Blizzard into Ellis's mouth. I think we should make sure Maeve is okay first.
Yeah, I agree.
That is definitely a good call.
Before she, I don't know, melts.
Right. So
she's not going to melt.
Before she what? Not Charis.
Not Charis is really great, by the way.
She's not gonna melt.
I am following Maeve around with my handheld, kind of like taking notes and trying to just observe.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
While not respecting their personal bubble.
So, did we land on going as a group?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, cool.
Yes.
And I assume we are seeking auto dock capacity, just for expediency's sake and privacy's sake. I mean, perhaps.
We might need a real doctor to be able to explain the circumstances. I don't know if an auto doc is going to understand. She was dead, and now she's not.
We don't want to explain the circumstances. Are you fucking kidding me?
We seem incapable of it.
Checkup. This is our yearly checkup.
Let me lay out a couple options for you here. So you can find a real flesh and blood doctor, somebody to examine Maeve over their obvious benefits. It's not a computer. But there are also some downsides, which are, obviously you have to talk to an actual human being who may remember your face. There are also auto doc units. But the downside of that is that they are largely all produced and run through Crucible medical technologies. So it's not like they don't log things. It's just there are only so many uncomfortable questions they can ask you, and they can't form trains of thought like a human doctor would, or make assumptions like a human doctor would. The other option is you could find a off the grid auto dock unit. They do exist largely in skeevy underworld pockets of most major cities where people have taken them off of the grid, essentially stolen them, much like some other folks may have on the planet Mars, allegedly, and then basically just disconnected them from the Crucible systems entirely, and now they operate independently and they don't actually report any of the information that they gather. But that obviously comes with its own set of risks.
I would rather use one of those. 100% you've got
sketchy underground auto doc.
Sketchy underground auto doc or a live doctor. A Crucible auto doc is absolutely going to pick up on the fact that she's got Stedman Jang Crucible nanites in her. And
I do know a combination arcade laundromat, bar, medical facility, and certified attorney.
I love the sound of this. I love where this is going. Let's go. Please come go.
Let's go.
I mean,
Good.
You're just describing my dreams.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I don't know how many of you have been to New Orleans, but these kind of places exist.
Is it hidden behind a vending machine inside of a normal-looking laundromat?
I mean, it has vending machines, but most of them are in Korean, so I don't know what they have inside of them. Some of them are very frightening.
You really need to update your universal translator.
It might not be Korean.
So this so this particular establishment, you can make your way there. It is in a seedier pocket of San Antonio, certainly, but Ellis is passing familiar with some of the seedier pockets of the city.
I mean, it's where I did my laundry for like a year. So.
And that's all you did there.
You do laundry?
Yeah, well, you gotta wash, blood out of stuff anyway.
So
what stopped you from doing that on the Nephilim?
What? I
Your
walk around with
laundry,
blood on me on the Nephilim, kid.
Yeah, I just gesture to the entirety of Ellis's dirty fit.
That's seasoned. It's not rotten.
Hey, listen, you just threw up most of your contents.
It was attempted frontal lobe damage, and I think I've done so.
Hey, listen, I get it. You cure outside wounds with rubbing alcohol. You cure inside wounds with regular alcohol.
You
We're
read
good
my
to go.
Bible. Anyway.
We're good to go, but it does mean we should actually just straight go to the laundromat, because...
Yeah, you can. It sounds like you can accomplish a lot of different tasks in this particular establishment. So I think it's probably your best bet. Yeah, it is early afternoon, getting on towards evening as you kind of just make your way through the San Antonio streets. You may need to procure transportation, but obviously there are plenty of options for that. Lots of ride shares and things like that. It's easy enough to get transportation out there. Yeah, you end up in like the neighborhood that is most familiar to Ellis. Ellis, when you lived here, you never set foot on the Scrappers Union campus. As a matter of fact, when you lived here, it might have been long enough ago that there wasn't a Scrappers Union.
I think it was there, but it wasn't a campus.
Yeah.
Like they had buildings, and it probably wasn't a union yet. It was probably multiple scrapper organizations, mechanic shops, effectively the same kind of deal.
Right, yeah. But the gentrification that has taken place in this city since you've last been here is pretty wild. Although some things never change as you set foot into this particular stretch. Where the section where the Scrappers Union is located is a little more, it's very shiny, very polished, also very reminiscent of Takamagahara, because there's a certain amount of cultural exchange between the platform and the city that the platform attaches to. This, on the other hand, this is just Texas.
A little further out in the ring.
Yeah. This just feels like Texas. There are a lot of people standing around eyeing you as you all make your way through the streets. You spot a lot of people with their hats pulled down real low, that kind of thing. There's graffiti all over the place. You recognize some of the tags.
It's an aggressive amount of tumbleweeds.
Yes.
As that has swept south in Texas and taken over basically every square scrap of land.
It's an epidemic, honestly.
Is the electrical grid privatized?
I mean, it always has been.
Yeah.
Down to the back of the astronaut.
Yeah.
Always has been. And if you didn't know, that's actually a real problem in Kansas and Texas, is tumbleweeds are an actual ecological epidemic. So it's probably only gotten worse. Can't imagine anybody fix it.
It's reached the point where they've started issuing permits to kill them on site.
Yeah.
There's not just tumbleweed season anymore. It's pretty much year round as long as you've got the permit.
All time. Yep.
You dodge a couple particularly vicious specimens as you make your way through the streets. Before you do find yourself,
want to digress, but go on.
You find yourselves outside of the Easy Wash. which
Oh,
you
they
know,
changed names. Yeah, that's fair though. It's probably the exact same place, and it's just like they've replaced the sign.
probably. What was the name you said? Did I miss
I
that?
said the bar and wash, but no, it's
Oh.
absolutely the easy wash
Okay.
now, and it's the exact same setup of like all the same stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
no.
just like changed hands like 4
It
times.
absolutely is easy
It
wash.
is the
Yeah.
letters
Oh, yeah.
easy and wash. Yeah, no, I mean it's honestly probably under the same management. It's just the name Bar and Wash got too known, so they had to change it.
Yeah. Well, also, you know, after you went through the 7th bankruptcy, you had to like, yeah.
Yeah. And you know, true to its name, there is a lot of like what appears to be Korean writing around the sign itself, and beyond is the laundromat. It is in true laundromat fashion, very poorly lit, eerily quiet except for the sounds of machines running.
So to give a descriptor, because this was immediately what popped into my head, if
Yeah.
anyone actually has been to this kind of place in Louisiana, is that laundromats in Louisiana are a bar up front with a laundromat in the back.
Hmm.
So it just looks like your standard, like, I don't know, greasy tabled bar. And then if you go far enough back, instead of getting to a kitchen, you just get to a laundromat. It's just a whole laundromat.
There's definitely elements of that, but I'm going to say that it's actually flipped in this particular establishment.
Okay, so it's laundromat, and then if you go through the laundromat, there's just a bar.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. And as you like sort of start to make that transition from the laundromat section, there are a couple of different arcade machines up in the laundromat section, but like more back in the bar for sure.
Is
And
there DDR?
yes, there is DDR. Well, there's Stepmania, but same thing. Is that the awful?
2037 edition.
Is that the awful one that was on diagonals? Is that Stepmania?
That's Pump It Up,
Oh,
and
that's
Pump
Pump
It
It
Up is also good.
Is it
So-
good? I feel like it's not good. It's a pump it up
Not a
machine.
center. It's a center step.
Yeah, I don't like the center stuff. Anyway, we're getting off topic.
No.
I know, never happens. Never happens.
Tumbleweeds are really into DDR. Anyway,
So yeah, there are a couple of people doing their laundry. Some of them may actually be doing their laundry. Ellis would be aware that some of them are also just there to keep an eye on who's coming in and potentially dissuade them from going further back if they don't seem like the type of person that they want there.
there's always at least one guy laundering money,
It's
which
just
is a weirdly mechanical function in this establishment as well, where you like pass too much money over the bar at the laundry machine. It's very
he's just pulling out fistfuls of bills and throwing them into the
out
dryer.
of like a dryer. Yeah, exactly. And then you go to another dryer and other money comes out. It's very weird.
Very strange.
It's the best way they could get it to work for like the low lifes in the areas that like they tried to explain it at like an actual level, and they're like, "So I wash it?" And they're like, "Just fucking go to the easy wash.
Yeah,
Put your money in one dryer. You'll get less of it out the other one. You'll be fine."
it's fully automated money laundering. So
Future.
yeah, the future. What a time to be alive. You are not.
So there's an
stopped.
autodoc. I also established that it is a notary public / lawyer as well.
Yeah, there is one desk with a single lamp, like exposed light bulb hanging over it, and there is a small, old, like ancient-looking man in a very like shabby suit with a plaque on the desk in front of him. Like this is like we're talking like a grade school like desk, like student's desk. And there is a plaque on the front of it that says notary / lawyer.
Like one of those green acrylic visors.
Yeah. And the you kind of just like pass right by him. He's just like staring. It's unnerving. He's just like staring at the desk in front of him. There's nothing on it. He's just staring at the desk. He doesn't look up.
Intentionally recognizes no one.
Yeah.
Like he's a fucking a cipher. Like he should know everyone, but he
may
meets everyone for the first time.
He may, but nobody knows. And there is also an autodoc, but you know that the autodoc is easily the most illegal thing they have in this illegal establishment. So that is a like it's not a well-kept secret, but it is not like
a kept secret though. It's not on the wall.
Exactly. It is not open for anybody to walk into. You have to talk to the person behind the bar, and they have to make sure you are not a cop, or in this circumstance, like a Crucible employee, more likely. You kind of are back in the bar now. Like I mentioned, there are way more arcade machines back here. There is a collection of like vintage bar signs, like neon bar signs, that say like names of beers that don't really even exist anymore.
Unclear if someone collected them or if they've just literally been in the location so long that now they're vintage.
Exactly. And you've got like Pac-Man and Galaga and shit like that. And then there are a couple of people drinking here, mostly studiously minding their own business. And then the bartender, whom, Ellis, you recognize the bartender. You recognize them, which is astonishing because it's been such a long time, since you've been here. And you thought this particular bartender, this woman who was sort of always back here, was old when you were young. But she's still here. She looks older, but not nearly as much older as you might expect. And whether or not that's what, owning an autodoc unit gets you, or just good genes, hard to say. Yeah. But you would recognize Sheila, who is the sort of this like very fierce and capable Korean woman who has been working behind this bar.
You said Sheila?
Sheila, yes.
Yeah. All right, I'll sidle up, and then make motion.
Yeah, if she makes her way over to you, if she recognizes you, she doesn't give any indicator.
Sheila, good to see you. We're gonna need a round. And tokens for the Pack Galaga machine. And then also a friend of mine would like to see a medical professional. If we could arrange that for this afternoon. Oh yeah. The laundromat still take bills, or is it back to quarters? Because I'm apparently dirty.
She looks you up and down, nods, and starts getting you drinks. As she does so, she says to you, well, your friend, probably go find a doctor if you want to talk to a medical professional.
Oh, come on now, Sheila. How long I live in this neighborhood? How many times I come in here to get a hole plugged, tooth filled? Do you remember that time I almost lost my eye? Come on. It was that fucking machine I was fighting. When it hit back, I didn't know they could do that. If you were drunk enough, I know arcade machines were interactive that way. Come on now.
She looks at you, sort of a confused expression on her face.
Same beard, like 20 years younger. Slightly less death on my face, maybe. Ellis?
A lot of people come in here with bullet holes in them.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. There's a reason for it. And you and I both know that reason. And I don't want to say it out loud because we're quiet about it.
If you would like to, I would like you to persuade her, I think. Yeah. Manipulate her, rather. So that's going to be with Slick.
I'm not trying to intimidate people.
I assumed
Just trying to
manipulate. I mean, it'd be yeah.
There it is.
It's not updating. There we go. All right, cool. An 11.
My God.
All right, cool. With an 11, cool, it just went away. That's fine. I'm not going to worry about it tonight. With an 11, that's enough. They choose one. All right. She looks at you, looks at the rest of your group, and she says, all right, yeah, that's fine. I want those two, and she points at Charis, 2019 and Jaxper, and she says, those two wait in the laundry. I'll take your friend back.
They can take the drinks in there, right? Because I did pay for it.
Yeah, we have open container laws now.
I figured. I just want to make sure.
We've been gone a long time. So yeah, she says she'd take Maeve in the back, and yeah, the rest of you, the Jaxper and Charis, or 2019, you are relegated to the front section of the store. Maeve, do you have any questions about this? You just following Sheila? She comes around the bar. She like comes up to maybe your like midsection, which is kind of saying something because like Maeve's not the tallest person, is my understanding. But yeah,
It becomes obvious as she comes up from behind the bar that
Yeah.
the bar has like an elevated platform that she walks.
100%, yes. And she says, "All right, sweetie, come with me. We'll get you sorted."
Okay. Sure.
This is an auto dog, maybe. You'd be all right.
Yeah, she sort of like looks you up and down and walks around you, and she says, "What exactly is the problem? You look fine."
Yeah, I guess it is kind of used to like stitching up holes and stuff, right? This is more of like a physical
Yeah, I mean,
X-ray thing.
I'll tell you, you're entitled to whatever it pulls up, but I'm gonna be honest with you. It's been a long minute since it's been connected to any sort of medical database, and it may not have the most up to date information in its storage banks. Like I said, or like you said, mostly used to patching up holes, but we'll see what it can do.
Oh, don't sass it, Maeve. That's just friendly advice. Don't like talk back.
I could probably download a patch for it.
You're not there.
Also, there's no way they would allow that.
That is true. Okay, cool. So, Maeve, you get led back into this auto document, and we'll get to that in a second. Ellis, as you were standing at the bar with your shot, and I assume you got shots, right? Or did you get a beer? Doesn't really matter.
I think Ellis would. I need a recovery beer, so
Okay.
Ellis went with something to.
Yeah, you get a recovery beer, and
It's got extra sugar and carbs in it.
as you are sipping on this beer, you become aware of somebody who sidles up next to you at the bar, leans over on his elbows, and talks to you. Starts talking, rather, and says, Ellison Maldonado.
Stranger at a bar.
Been a long sight since seeing you around these parts.
Would agree if I knew who I was looking at.
Yeah, you do recognize him as you look over. He is pushing like 6'2", probably. A very, very well-built man. Probably a couple years, maybe about 10 years or so younger than you. But very, like, clean cut. His hair is, like, slicked over, just starting to kind of, like, salt and pepper at the sides. He's got, like, you know, the scruff.
Wait, he's 10 years younger than me?
Yeah, about that.
So he's in his 30s.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Making sure I understand.
Yeah. Sort of just starting to like salt and pepper, like I said.
I got you. Yeah. I was just making sure I got my.
Yep.
Nature.
And he's dressed pretty fancy, honestly. Like he's got a vest on over a button down.
What the hell?
You would.
Why are you?
You would
Are
recognize.
you coming from a funeral or serving papers? What the hell?
Yeah. So you would recognize this is Marcus Pike. And he was someone you ran with back in the day. He was not anyone of particular note back then.
But notable enough to me that I didn't remember it.
Yeah, your paths crossed for sure. And like I said, you probably like ran together on more than one occasion. But things have obviously changed for Marcus recently. Or well, you don't really know how recently, but yeah, he looks you up and down, kind of leans casually on one elbow and says, you know, when I heard you'd been spotted, I almost couldn't believe it.
I've been spotted?
Yeah, Dusty.
People keeping tabs?
Well, Dusty spotted you just for a brief second over at God, what was that bar called? You went to a bar very briefly.
Yeah, whatever it was.
Somebody. You got the impression that somebody sort of saw you. And yeah, he says, yeah, look, almost didn't believe it when I heard, but I hear you.
People sure do talk, don't they? Old Dusty never could keep his trap shut,
Well,
if I recall, which I don't. How about you, Marcus? You seem unreasonably fashionable for an afternoon inside of a laundromat, come bar, come arcade, come district attorney's office. And I gesture at Pfizer.
well, things have been going well for me, truth be told.
So what the fuck are you doing here? Are you spending fancy money in fancy places then? Or are you just here for me?
Perhaps on another night, but I did have business to discuss with you first.
Oh, sweet Jesus, Marcus. Don't keep me on the edge of my seat here, darling. What possibly could you want from an old dumbass like me? You know I've been scrapping for the past however many years. I'm not tied into anything.
Oh, I do, but I remember you were pretty handy with a pistol back then, even. I can't imagine.
Not done.
Can't imagine a man like you would have fallen into a different line of work. I imagine you're even more capable now than you were back then.
Can't imagine a man like you trying to hire off-world shooters for anything. That seems... What are you getting into, Marcus? This ain't gonna keep you in sharkskin suits, kid.
I'm running things these days.
What's things, mate?
The boys. You remember the boys?
The boy, at all us dem boys.
Yeah, you remember. You were one of us until you. Oh gosh, what was that incident? Didn't you?
Yeah, put one of y'all in jail.
Oh,
yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll bet he's still Celtic, though I'll also bet he ain't still one of the boys.
Well, unfortunately, he is no longer with us. But
that do happen in Earth prison.
It certainly does.
I can only hope for your sake, Marcus, that helped accelerate your rise to grandeur.
I wouldn't say it hurt anything, but that doesn't...
You're welcome.
I guess I should. I'll do the right thing. I'll be a stand-up man. I should thank you for that, because it did expedite my rise into what you see before you.
Well, I didn't need it, but I appreciate the recognition, I suppose.
Now, however, as the subject of our business goes on, you understand that coming back here, I can't let you just leave after what you did.
No, I don't understand that, actually. As far as I understand it, that was kind of an eye for an eye, scorpion and a frog kind of a situation, and you weren't there or involved or in any way unduly harmed, and the principal actor is now, if I'm to understand, deceased. So unless he put it upon you as his dying wish to fuck Ellis, I don't really see how that ledger still ain't cleared. Do enlighten me, Marcus.
Moment of clarity.
Yeah.
We are not there, correct?
You're in the next room.
You are in the next room.
You might be able to hear it.
You are in the next
Okay.
room. I don't think you can hear anything over the sound of the washing machines, but I do think you do see this tall, well-dressed, handsome stranger talking to Ellis at the bar. And they appear deep in conversation. Not casual, acquaintance chit-chat or anything like that. Marcus says, you want to talk about eye for an eye, Ellis. If you sleep better at night, you can call that this. Eye for an eye. You killed Rufus, and now...
Whoa, I didn't kill Rufus.
Didn't you? You didn't pull the trigger, but...
Well, as far as I know, that's how we do accounting of those kind of things. Because that's how most y'all keep sleeping at. You put somebody in a dangerous situation, that's on them to get out of it.
Yep. Afraid I don't see things the same way, old friend.
All right, you got interest in new math. Can't say I like what the schools are teaching these days. Anyway, what's the thought, Marcus? You want me to shoot someone for you, and thus you will not shoot me back?
I got a job that I'm interested in procuring your services for, gratis, of course, as a token of as a gesture of respect to our dearly departed mutual friend.
Mm-hmm.
And once that's taken care of, you and
spit it out.
You and your fellows.
What do you want? Speak plain. I'm only here until my laundry's done, and I don't know. I think I might have something to get notarized, but regardless.
He looks around over towards Charis or 2019 and Jax, where it's going to take some getting used to, and looks back at you and says, "I tell you what, you are a little bit occupied, obviously, and I'd rather
Whatever job you want me to do, I'm probably going to be taking the muscle along with me."
Well, that's fine. I'd rather have this conversation when it's just the two of us. So how about you
You're
and
shy.
me?
I get it, Marcus.
How about you and me set a time, we meet back here, sit down, have a chat just like old times, share a drink together.
In front of Sheila? Y'all want to do business down at the old Easy Wash? All right. You gotten fancy, but you ain't that fancy. All right.
Unlike some folk, I didn't forget where I came from.
I drive a glorified tow truck in space, Marcus. Do you not understand what it is I left to do? What? I don't. You're in a suit, in an Easy Wash. I'm covered in yesterday's grime, and I threw up most of this morning. Am I putting on airs? I don't remember looking nice.
No, it's not about how you dress or nothing like that. It's you left this place behind, Ellis. You left it long behind.
Well, looking at you, you could get off the rock if you wanted.
And that's the difference between you and me.
What?
I'm still here, working with
Yeah,
the
why?
people.
Oh, you're looking after people. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's out of the gratitude and kindness of your heart that you took over a criminal enterprise. You're so genteel. Look at you, Rockefeller, doing it for the people.
I missed you, Ellis. I'm glad you're
I
back.
didn't miss you. Honestly, I've mostly forgotten you existed, but I will meet you back here at some point to discuss the particulars of how I'm going to get back in your good graces. Oh, I sure do love being threatened on an afternoon out. It's lucky that I'm coming to grips with the concept that death might not be as permanent that it is, that this is how time we're having this conversation. Also, that I respect Sheila so goddamn much, I don't want to get blood on her bar. Ain't that right, Sheila?
Sheila pops up from behind the bar and kind of just crosses her arms and passively over her chest.
I think that's a sign of respect. I think. I'm not quite sure. I've never known how to read her. Anyway, yeah, we'll have a chat, Marcus. You know my beeper number.
Yeah, he slaps a large bill down on the bar and says, I'll see you around, Ellis. And then
You carried paper money? I thought I was old as shit.
he waves over his shoulder as he walks. He walks right by 2019 and Jaxper on his way out.
Don't trip him. Those shoes are new.
They are nice shoes. And then he walks out the door.
The fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. He's the third guy who's wanted to threaten me since we got back on planet, so we'll figure. I don't know. I might have to go shoot somebody for him or something. It's probably some shithead drug dealer.
It is a weird thing how people keep threatening Ellis.
Yeah, it's almost like that's
thing.
why I'm so good at it. I grew up around it, almost like a crucible of violence that I send it out of.
It's almost as though I'm not the only one with the shady past.
Did y'all think that I went to Catholic school? I don't remember putting that in my bio.
No, this is about what I anticipated.
Yeah, see, I figured it was pretty straightforward descent from low-life criminal to Pinkerton agent to mid-tier scrapper. Yeah,
It's also
following all the hits.
It's also fairly likely that Ellis did go to Catholic school.
Probably true.
But regardless,
Where do you think I learned how to fight and lie to nuns?
Regardless, we will. Let's talk about what happens to Maeve in the autodoc unit, and then we will take a quick break. But Maeve, you enter the autodoc unit, which is kind of just this closet. The floor that you are standing on, it feels like it seems to be like almost glass, like a screen of some kind. And it's black, and there are green lines sort of bisecting it, almost like a checkerboard kind of way. And then there are panels and various devices lining the walls. Some of it is exposed. Some of the paneling that would be there otherwise has just been removed, presumably to make it, easier to access the innards. And you can see that there's some there's some shoddy repair jobs that have been done to the exposed wires, and then there's some quality repair jobs too. It seems like maybe the work of somebody who taught themselves, but they've been at it long enough that they know what they're doing now. And it works at the end of the day. Up above you, the ceiling of this tiny little sort of cubicle is a sort of a domed ceiling. Also, this one is white, also made of the same sort of glass material of the floor that you're standing on. And as you step into it, Sheila leans around the door and says, "Now, just try not to move too much or touch the walls."
What's too much?
And she shuts the door.
What's too much?
Quiet voice of Alice in your head. Don't talk back.
You hear whirring and a low buzzing noise as it powers on, presumably from the outside. And Sheila's gone at this point, but you hear that low hum, and the floor under you lights up, and the dome over top of you lights up. And you're kind of just bathed in this sort of dual glow, as it sort of rises up your body and then down your body. Some of the instruments and panels on the walls around you also light up and start to display information that pretty much means nothing to you as not a doctor or anything like that. A very robotic, emotionless voice plays near you. It says, "Hello. Please do not move. Remain perfectly calm." And as it sort of continues, it just sort of announces what it is doing occasionally, but every so often it glitches and repeats itself. It's it's beginning internal scan. And then toward you're in there for maybe about 10 minutes, and towards the end of that, there is a little a kitchen timer attached to the wall that's been wired into stuff that dings, and the voice comes on and says, "Diagnosis complete." And the door slides back open, and Sheila's on the other side, and she's just sort of staring up at a panel, and she shrugs. She looks at you and she shrugs, and she says, "Well, I mean, not that I'm upset about getting paid or nothing, but you're fine. There's nothing here."
I get a copy of the results? Is that no offense, but a one-word summary would be nice to have a little bit more.
She shrugs and says, "I mean, sure. Yeah." And she indicates a port where you can just, jack in your handheld, essentially. Yeah, but I mean, she says, "Look, I've been at this for longer than you've been alive, sweetheart, and ain't a thing wrong with you, except you were nervous for some reason. I don't know."
Because everyone told me not to move.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't too. All right, well, I'll take your money for sure. And she kind of just ambles off.
I mean, still gonna definitely take the full results.
Yeah, for sure. You've got those in hand, and she probably does like push the we'll say it's like a old timey. We'll actually say it's a pinball table, and she kind of like pushes that back into place in front of the paneling that swings in to reveal the auto dock unit. Yeah, she steps in. Oh, wow! Thank you so much for gifting 3 subs. That's very kind of you. Yeah, thanks so much. So.
Yay!
Yay!
Sorry, we
Thank
don't normally get, so we don't even have a sub alert. I'm very sorry. Normally something plays, but normally it's just for donations. But yeah, okay. So I think with that being said, you've all kind of got your own stuff going on. Maeve, you can return to Jackspur up at the bar, and
Alice looks over and is like, "Oh, good, you didn't move around too much."
What
Like,
would have happened if I moved?
thumbs around at another guy who's got like a big unhappy face sticker just stuck to his forehead.
been there for 17
wait.
years. Damn thing won't come off. Medical grade adhesive. All right, cool. Well, with that being said, we'll take a break as the group rejoins each other. We'll be back in like 5-ish minutes, maybe a little bit longer. Just gonna refresh drinks, use the bathroom, and pick back up.
I've got to sing Edelweiss to
Oh,
my
okay, cool.
child, so
Well-
that's gonna take maybe more like 10 minutes.
Maybe more like 10 minutes. No worries. We'll play some music in the meantime, and we'll be right back. So, thanks for sticking around.
It's not just Edelweiss. I have to read books and sing Edelweiss, and I also have to sing Bamboo Bones by Against Me.
Oh,
So
reading is the
Yeah.
worst.
It grows.
Who is this baby?
Says the librarian.
We'll be back in a few minutes, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us. Bye. All right, everyone. Thanks for sticking with us. We are back. Hope you enjoyed some of the music during the break. We're going to get right back into it. I guess first, just a quick reminder that if you'd like to donate or contribute to one of the causes that we are currently platforming, we are raising money for Planned Parenthood. So if you like what you see here, feel free to just, click that link and, drop some of whatever money you would be giving to us otherwise to that organization. Not to say we don't super appreciate it when people subscribe to us or do anything like that. Definitely does boost us in the Twitch algorithm. And when we do get a payout from Twitch, we donate that money anyway. So it all goes to a good cause sooner or later. So yeah, we appreciate it. Back at the Easy Wash, y'all were pretty much just finishing up. It seems like Maeve got a diagnosis, a clean bill of health with the results that you can look over later, and Ellis got a job prospect.
That's a way to put it.
It certainly is.
Job prospect.
It certainly is a way to put it. Yeah. What's next on your to-do list for today?
So, Maeve, are you clean? Are you feeling okay? Everything good?
She said I was good. I guess I'm fine.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I still will feel better when it's been a little bit longer and I'm still fine, but I guess nothing No bad signs yet.
No voices.
Did you guys get voices?
I mean, I do, but that's a whole nother fucking story.
I literally have 3 to 4 men living inside my head, so.
Yeah, yeah.
Rent free.
Rent free. 2 of them are like fine. 2 of them, one of them sucks. But anyway, the that is unlikely to happen to you if you don't make the same choices that I have made.
Likely, you say. That's not gonna happen. That's not reassuring.
Maeve, it's not going to happen unless you invite a whole bunch of dudes to live in your brain. I did not have to have this happen either. It's not going to happen unless you invite a whole bunch of dudes to live inside your brain. I advise against it, honestly.
Noted. And that goes for anyone in the audience, too. That's just good advice.
Yeah, seriously, don't do it.
So you, it's like we said, you are still in one of the like shadier sections of the city. I imagine you're kind of just having this conversation as you are walking around.
So, Ellis, you got us a job?
I mean, I was mostly threatened with doing work, or else that gentleman Marcus wants a blood debt or something. Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing you're used to being threatened.
Yeah, it does seem to be a commonality. I'm not overly put off by it, but if y'all want to participate, I'd welcome the company, I guess. I don't know. I haven't decided if I'm going to kill him instead, so.
That is an option. We're planning to find out what happens. You could just kill him.
Do you really think you'll have less problems if you kill him? Isn't the whole thing you just jumped out of jail and coming back to you now? Like,
Anyway.
do they blame you?
Kind of.
Yeah, I don't think killing this guy's gonna resolve the issue.
Who knows? Maybe I become boss of the gang. Maybe it's like a warlord type situation.
Do you think that will cause us fewer problems in the long term?
Oh, certainly not. No, then we would have significant ties and difficulties.
I mean, it might be fine for you. You'd get to live high on the hog for a couple of years, maybe, until somebody else, you know, try to pull
Off
one
being a
over.
laundromat? Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It is how I assumed I'd go.
I mean, that's a pretty like good end for Ellis of all people.
Not dead in a laundromat?
Compared to all the times in Ellis's life that he probably thought was going to be the last one, there are probably some worse ones out
I mean,
there.
it's not bottom 20% or anything, but
In the notes that, for whatever reason, I'm still taking, Ellis's column now just gets an add-in that says, may become future leader of shadowy criminal organization.
Well, yeah, but we also
So he's still taking notes just for himself now.
right.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm trying to find my
The company
place
blog.
in the world.
All right, you are walking through these San Antonio streets, talking to each other, bantering back and forth as you are wont to do. Some good-natured ribbing taking place, and then you come to a street as you're making your way back to the Scrappers Union campus. You pass under an overpass. It's, you know, an overpass. It's ugly. It's concrete. It's a unfortunate necessity of this urban sprawl. But as you walk under it, it gets very dark. It's just like a perfect moment of shadow where, you know, there's a light on the other side, there's a light on the side you're coming from, and then you're just sort of in this very deep shadow. And I want Maeve to roll Alien.
Okay.
If it isn't the consequences of our own actions.
It's not even Maeve's actions, that's the worst part.
Man.
The dice roller is acting up. Let me pull it up. There we go. Not great.
Nope, that's not what I wanted.
No, it's not.
No.
All of a sudden, Maeve, you feel, for no discernible reason that you can figure out, you feel this tightening in your chest as it becomes harder for you to breathe. You can't catch your breath, and you feel this like sense of panic sinking in. This like sensation of that's hard to describe because you've never felt it before that you can think of, but this sensation of just sort of like this encroaching darkness surrounding you and engulfing you and just not being able to get away from it. You are gonna freeze and write a hook about it. And I'm going to ask you a question from the Abyss Stairs back. In what way are your characters' mind and soul vulnerable? And I think the way to do this is to treat it as a question of how has Maeve changed in this experience? Like, Maeve has always been a pretty carefree person, a very kind person at the very least, very understanding, very generous with her time and attention. And prior to dying, you watched the people that you have spent the most amount of time with out of anybody in your life, except for your parents maybe, murder a bunch of people. Like, that was the thing that you were dealing with before you even died, was coming to terms with the fact that like you're hanging out with a bunch of people who can casually kill and not feel bad about it. So in what ways are Maeve's mind and soul now more vulnerable than they were?
I think she's reaching a point where not only does she feel like she doesn't know or trust the people around her, she's now at the point where she doesn't really feel like she can know or trust her own body either.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because something has changed, and now those same, how much of it is her and how much of it is these little drone things that are possibly buzzing around inside of her.
Maybe, you know.
So just one more way that she just doesn't feel like she can trust anything anymore.
Okay. And the rest of you, as you are walking under this underpass, you see Maeve just kind of stop and then like double over and start gasping for breath.
Hey, Maeve, are you
All
all right?
right. What happened?
And I mean, Maeve, you like can't answer at first. You just can't like catch your breath. The rest of you, it looks like somebody drowning, but on dry land. Obviously, there's no water around or anything like that that you can see. Maeve, roll to keep your cool at disadvantage, which is with
3d6.
stalwart.
And I take the worst one.
Yeah.
Whoop, not 23d6. That would be fun.
That would be pretty
It's
wild.
not far.
And so I still
Yeah, you
do all right.
You do fine, yeah. You are able to shake it off. You start to come out of it, and like after maybe a minute or two, you sort of feel this like sensation, this feeling, and the darkness itself start to retreat away from you. You look around and you realize that like, yeah, I mean it's shadowy under here, but it's nowhere near as dark as for whatever reason it seemed like it was a second ago. And everyone is standing around you looking concerned for you.
Did Jaxper like actually try to like touch Maeve when he was checking on her?
I think I think he probably didn't actually touch her, just sort of like had his hand like out, but did not actually make contact.
If it was like sort of within range, I think instinctually as she's coming out of this, she like smacks his hand away.
Mhm.
And just goes, "I'm fine. I'm fine. Let's just keep going."
All right.
I'll just kind of like pull Jax back a little bit. I think we should probably just give her some room.
I think when you do that, Jaxper is actually going to take a stress. I have to. That hurt. And I'm at my maximum storm. So I can either spend all of that and lash out immediately, or take physical stress. So I think Jaxper is taking physical stress. And what that actually looks like for a moment is like you smack him away and just keep moving. And like the second your eyes are off of him, you two see him kind of go fuzzy, like he's not fully in control of all 4 selves that are inside him right now.
Mhm.
Like he's sort of he's not doing great. And when he manages to reintegrate everything, he's got like a nosebleed. His eyes are red, like he's got a bunch of burst vessels in his eyes. He's just like, fuck.
That's real heavy. I mean, I imagine the expression might even be like akin to the one that he had on his face when Maeve first came out of her room that morning. That sort of like glassy-eyed, like 1,000-yard stare almost.
Yeah, just trying to keep himself together because everything in him is like, you fucked up.
Literally keep himself together. Yeah,
literally hold himself together.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. And with that very fun interruption out of the way, I think you've no other issues getting back to your apartment. Anybody really want to do anything before Ellis's meeting later this evening with Marcus Pike? Would any of y'all?
Let me see here.
Yeah. Would any of y'all want to like?
I'm gonna roll some dice real quick and see.
Roll away.
I'm gonna say I'm rolling to keep my cool here, and what I roll is going to determine whether or not I talk with Maeve. I think I'm gonna talk with Maeve.
Okay.
Try to talk to Maeve. But I rolled a 7, so I'm gonna just role play it real Jax.
Okay.
Real clumsy.
All right. Yeah. I mean, the apartment is not a big place. You all have your own separate rooms. Is Maeve looking for a little privacy or a little like social time?
I think Maeve does isolate herself as soon as they get back.
Okay.
And might even like just go and start tinkering with something, but just like keeps almost stopping and just like looking and stretching out her own hand, so she's not making much progress.
Okay. All right. And is Jaxper knocking or just going in?
I rolled a 7, so I think I'm going to like just start this off in a stupid way by
Okay.
just going in.
Okay. Just gonna like Kramer it.
Yeah, just kind of Kramer it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What a reference.
Timely.
Hey, we should talk. I think
About what?
about I mean,
Yes?
I it's not that bad. Right?
What's not that bad?
Like being like us. Right? Like, I mean, that's the fucking fear, right? Is that you're not you anymore. You're gonna be like fucking me and Charis. A, it's not that fucking bad. We're like fine. B, you're still you. So, like, I don't know.
I mean, how do you know? Like, you just spent so much time telling me you've never done this before. You can't tell me anything about what it means because you couldn't have predicted this in the first place. So you don't know that.
I mean, do you have your memories? Like, do you remember your family?
I don't
Remember everything we
remember
did before?
dying, so there's that.
Okay. Uh, you don't. I that I've done a couple of times before, and you don't usually. So that's pretty normal, at least as far as it goes. But like
I get
you,
that this is all very normal and like business as usual for you, but this is my first time dying, so it may take me a while to get used to it, okay?
okay, I just when you were gone, when we thought you were gone, we were all ready to just fucking give up on the whole thing. Finding grace, all of that. Full fucking vengeance mode. You you mean a lot to us. So we're not trying to fucking hurt you by saving your life. I don't know. I don't know what the fucking problem is. I don't even know what I'm here for. Fucking never mind. And he's gonna leave. Like, unless she stops him. Like, he's just gonna be like, fuck. And teenager his way out.
I think she's gonna get up and slam the door behind him.
That's real fucking mature. His voice will absolutely crack in the middle of saying that.
The drama.
That went well.
Grass's new season looks intense.
Jackson's gonna sit down on the couch and immediately go back into standby mode.
All right, Drake.
Just call him Jaxper Drake. Good.
None of us understand that reference.
Sounds like Will does.
I mean, I do.
I got it.
Yeah, Tyler got it too.
Okay.
Oh gosh. All right.
Although I had a bigger crush on Spinner at the time.
What?
I respect that.
Dude,
What is this reference that's going on here?
Degrassi?
It's Canadian thing.
But
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
I'm having
It's old folks things.
having a really hard time refocusing from Tayo saying he was more attracted to Spinner than anyway.
What?
I'm sure this is
Oh, it's
horrific.
this is controversial.
It is.
These are controversial opinions that are being shared here on the channel. Possibly too spicy to share. This may be the lost episode. Who knows?
Ooh.
But anyway. So, you do get a message, Ellis, later on in the evening, right around as it starts to get dark. It says back at the Easy Wash, and then we'll say 10 p.m. And I assume you were going to keep this meeting.
Sorry, Tayo beat me to what I was going to do. So, anyway, yes, but it sounded like the crew had some interest in joining. like Ellis has gotten past the point of like everything has to be lone wolfer. He's like, well, I mean, if anybody wants to go, he didn't say like, you know, the deal's off. It sounded like he wanted to talk alone, which, I mean, fuck them. They always say that shit. And then they bring like 3 guys and a bus and a robot or whatever. Like,
Robot,
I don't know.
ghost, ninja.
Robot,
I mean,
ninja.
you could bring a pair of ghost ninjas.
Yeah, I got oodles of them apparently on the
2.
payroll.
Just 2.
That's
You don't pay
oodles when it
us.
comes to ninjas.
You pay us. Are you signing our paychecks?
I feel like
As much as I pay myself. We're partners, remember?
it's
This is a worker business.
it's a co-op.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
This is a scrappers co-op.
Mm-hmm.
Like King Arthur Flower.
Union Scrappers Union wasn't left enough, so we had to make a Scrappers co-op.
An anarchist commune on side of Anyway,
We could
here's the problem with that is that bro like saw us, like he knows what we like look like, so we're not gonna be able to be like subtle. I mean, Charis could give you a cicada.
I don't know that I love calling them that, but yeah.
Huh?
me subtle. You know subtle.
Oh no, I'm not subtle. I am at a brick. So, but I mean, we could use that to your advantage. Like, Charis could be all there, all subtle, and I could be there, all like, "Hi, I am the obvious threat. Yes, please send me away. Do not pay attention to the other guy."
That's true. I mean, Maeve, do you want to come? I mean, wash clothes or play video games or whatever.
Well,
Like-
Maeve is still sitting in her room with the door closed unless you like specifically dragged her out.
Oh no, I'm just talking to the closed door. Like Ellis
I think
would
she'll
do.
open it and be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"We all know you guys are gonna vote to leave me behind anyway, so let's just skip to that part." And she's gonna slam the door again.
I'm actually against that plan going forward.
Hey,
Yeah, last time
Historical
you ended up
evidence.
dead, so
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
While
Why
that
would
no
we do
longer
that?
holds the same heft and meaning that it once did in my life, it does still seem to be a negative consequence.
oh
She'll
no.
open the door again. "It's fine. You can just bring me back to life if they kill me again." And she'll slam
Right?
the door.
Yeah, she's got a point. It do seem to be that's how it is now.
It's not that fucking easy.
Not as hard as it used to be.
You think this was easy on either of us?
Like, we're not exactly
Oh,
talking
did
all
you
right.
say that loud enough for her to hear?
I mean, that's super not like the point, but kinda.
Alice very gets quiet when you're like, you think this was easy on us?
Yeah, I think even Jaxter's about to go like, what? I'm gonna let Charis take the heat for that.
But yeah, you should
Yeah,
totally
the
come
door
with us.
the door clings open and she's just like jerks open and she's like, "Yes. I'm sure my dying was real hard for the rest of you. This whole me living with your weird tech in my head
Maybe.
that I don't have any control over, that's real tough on you two."
Welcome
I'll
to the
take it
gray
out.
area.
I'll take it out. Fuck it. You don't want it there?
Well, hold on. Wait a minute. Well, we don't quite know what happened when you put it in, so maybe taking it out's a bad idea.
Technically, you don't know that there's anything in her.
I don't know much of anything about this.
I mean,
so.
any of you, like including Maeve,
Yeah.
like technically, like I mean, the scan from the autodoc didn't turn anything up. That doesn't mean like you don't know if it's calibrated to detect nanobots or what. But as far as you all are aware, Jaxper and Charis, you put nanobots into Maeve, you brought Maeve back to life, you took your nanobots back. As far as you're aware.
Yeah. I have nothing. There's nothing there. I got nothing left in there. Nothing that's sending me any signals. So if
You might be less of a robot ghost than was first intoned, is what I believe it seems like.
I mean, it's not like I've sat here and done a full scan because, you still have fucking, like, bodily autonomy and shit.
You can do that.
I mean,
Maeve,
I
do you
can
want
scan
him to
my-
look for nanites in your, blood or whatever?
I
No.
assume she completely reasonably doesn't trust me. Yeah, no.
All right, fair enough.
To be fair, I sort of implied it when I did the whole like glowy hand thing.
Yeah, I mean that is possible. You don't really know what that was exactly, but
Cool.
it was just a glowy hand thing as far as you know.
Well, do you want me to scan you?
Oh, well, that one could scan you too, apparently. Oh.
You're getting scanned, young lady. Who do you want to scan you?
No, Ellis is definitely not in that camp. Ellis is definitely in the camp of like, I have no fucking idea what any of this means. This is so beyond my head.
Look, all right. You don't want to come with us on the shit that we're going to do to try to get us off of this planet and find Grace? Fine.
This one might be mostly mopping up my messes, but it would be perfunctual in helping us to find somebody who could help us out with Grace. Also, we might be able to bend Marcus on that. Can't. Because we know he's not associated with the religious folks, and I don't know, he seems pliant.
It's true. I don't really have anything to contribute. The captions thought when I said, "Who do you want to scan you?" it said, "Who do you want to stay in you?" And I just wanted that off the screen. So we're good now.
Who do you want to stand you?
That's not what I said,
mean,
but I'm
I
not
think
saying it again.
That's still a relevant question.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. Marcus could be a good lead, potentially. I mean, you don't really know. He's obviously got some kind of pull or something.
You're cordially invited to our surreptitious evening activities, Maeve Delaney, if you would like to attend. I cannot guarantee your safety neither here nor there, as has been evidenced by our recent history together. But I sure would like you to continue living. And I'm sorry that the ghost robots done did what they did. And or appreciative of it, both those things. I'm a confused man in a very strange existential space lately. So I'm going to go yell at a man in a shark skin suit. If anybody wants to watch that.
If it'll end this conversation quicker, we can all go.
Sounds like a party. All right.
All right. All right. So are any of you making an attempt to hide yourselves?
think it makes
No.
sense for Charis to hide himself and for Jack and for Maeve to potentially be really discreet, and then for Jaxper to be kind of obvious.
Well, I just assumed Maeve would actually either show up before or after the rest of them,
Yeah.
Mhm.
as if she was there by herself,
Mhm.
grabbing a drink at the bar.
Okay, just as like Maeve.
Yup.
Okay.
You might want to look more grizzled than usual. Like, I don't know. That's just Alice's thought. He's like, not a lot of folks come in there on a casual drinking.
She's just there to do laundry.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
Obviously, just there to do laundry and have a drink, just like most other folk.
Mm-hmm.
It's like any
Everyone's just there for that.
any decent person. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Maeve, you show up a little earlier. Charis and Charis, you were trying to hide. You said, right? I mean, that's an infiltrator thing, obviously.
Yep.
Um,
Yes.
Do you have a specific move for that? You don't. Okay.
I don't. I do have. I mean, I have my like
Tap.
signature move that might let me like know where to chill out, where to hide.
Yeah. That is a thing. Let me see here. I thought I opened another thing. I can't find it. I think like act quick would probably be the most appropriate thing for you to roll to like conceal yourself. So yeah, roll plus slick.
12.
Very good. Okay. Yep. You are able to hide yourself pretty well. You've obviously like been trained extensively in this. You have a very like good idea of how to do it and to make yourself look really unrecognizable. So you kind of shuffle in. What kind of a disguise are you thinking? You got a 12. Sky's the limit.
You remember in Total Recall when Arnold Schwarzenegger hides inside of that larger woman's body?
Yes, I totally recall that.
Boo.
Yes, a common reference that all of us would understand.
I'm hiding inside of a. I've made myself look like a larger woman with blonde hair in a red polka dot dress.
That makes sense. Cool. All right. Yeah. So you are very, very well disguised. The rest of you probably don't even recognize Charis when he walks in. And so you are fully able to like disguise yourself. Maeve, you are getting there a little bit sooner. Jaxper, you're just kind of rolling in and making a big deal of yourself, right?
I think the goal is to be is just to kind of roll in and not pretend to not be Ellis's backup. Like I'm not rolling in and trying to call attention. Like I'm not trying to be a I'm not trying to roll in and be like a big asshole.
Mm-hmm.
But I am not hiding that I'm here as Ellis's backup.
Right. Okay. Cool. That makes sense.
So that their attention will be drawn to me. They can send me away, and
Okay.
then they'll miss these two.
Okay. Fair enough. Maeve, you get there a little bit earlier, though. You get there a little bit ahead of everybody else. So we'll do this in like an order of operations thing. Said you were having a seat at the bar, just gonna grab a drink, right? Okay. Pretty shortly after you sit down and order from Sheila, Marcus Pike sits down next to you. And he doesn't really make a big show about it at first. Like, you're not even sure if he recognized you or anything like that. Like, maybe he didn't know you were one of Ellis's companions. You were in the auto dock unit for most of the time that he was there. But after a couple, like maybe 30 seconds or so, he gets his drink, some kind of whiskey beverage, might just be whiskey, and sips at it and says fairly quietly, Miss Delaney,
Do I know you?
I have a strong feeling you do. I'm an associate of your companion, Ellis Maldonado.
Okay, what's your business with me?
None so formal, but I have kept tabs on Ellis since I heard he might be in town, and as a result, I did a fair amount of had my people do a fair amount of looking into who he was traveling with these days. I suppose purpose in my purpose in talking to you would just be you seem like a nice enough young lady, and I'm not sure you grasp the full scope of who it is you're running with.
You got some skeletons you want to tell me about hiding away in closets?
I suppose more of just a general warning. Ellis and I have known each other for quite some time, since we were very young. Probably about your age, actually. See, the thing that always set Ellis apart from everyone else we ran with, everyone else around these parts, including myself, Ellis Maldonado is a survivor. And he will do whatever it takes to continue on doing whatever it is he does. Doesn't care who it might cost, what might happen to other folk around him. Hell, maybe he does even, but never let that stop him. I mean, that's why he left. Being around here, where we're from, ain't hardly living. Ellis Maldonado, he'll do whatever it takes to live. You just keep that in the back of your head. And, maybe don't turn your back to him too often. Will you be sticking around for our business meeting?
Well, suppose I might as well.
All right.
Assuming you don't mind an extra person sitting in on it.
No. Hell, maybe you can keep him from doing something stupid.
Doesn't sound like you have much faith anyone can do that.
I do doubt it. I confess. All right. Shortly thereafter, a woman, a larger woman whom none of you have seen before, clearly one of the locals, definitely not your companion that you see on a daily basis, rolls in with just a big basket full of dirty clothes under her arm, and sets about, loading them up into one of the washing machines. You got something you want to contribute, Taya?
Carry on.
You sure about that? It seems pretty good.
Yeah, I second guessed a voice I was about to put on, but I am not going to do that.
Wow.
Because I
Fair enough. Good show. All right. And then a couple minutes after that, I guess just fully out in the open, Jaxper and Ellis roll in. Jaxper, Jaxper we know is very used to playing the bodyguard role, so I assume you're kind of just slipping back into that. All right.
Muted?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just right back into that bodyguard role, sort of walking behind him.
Mhm.
That same kind of like, I'm sort of watching everybody.
Right. Very disinterested
thing.
gaze.
Yeah.
Like looking at everything and nothing at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right,
Mhm.
cool.
But
and-
still looks like a gangly 19-year-old.
Uh-huh.
So like bodyguard face.
Yeah.
Like maybe high schooler
Physique.
everything else.
Yeah. Okay. When you enter the Easy Wash, Ellis, Marcus Pike stands up from the bar and moves over one stool and gestures for you to have a seat next to him and between him
Who
and
else is
Maeve.
in the building?
So like people you would recognize or just in general?
Period.
Okay.
Who all is in the building?
It is surprisingly empty. It does look like there are a couple of other people doing their laundry, just like not really paying attention to anything that's happening in the bar section. The noise from the machines tends to drown out, hearing whatever is going on in the bar.
Can I roll setup and relay that info to Ellis?
Yeah, you can definitely do that. So setup is, roll plus slick.
Sweet. Eight.
Okay. With an 8, you get to ask 2 questions from your list. Do you have the list pulled up?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
So where are their defenses and security weak? And I suppose right now, where's the target normally located?
Okay. So there are 2 people. I'll need to ask you for clarification about what the target is in your mind in a second, but there are 2 other people who are doing their laundry with you. There is a younger woman who just looks very tired, like she just came off a double shift and is just exhausted. She's like, it looks like she's nodding off in the chair, watching the dryer from like across the room. And then there is a very, very like older man who is currently in the process of like folding his shirts fresh out of the dryer and onto another one. He is like just kind of he's not paying attention to anything. In fact, he's wearing like a big headset, like he's listening to something in a very old school, like analog way. But with the setup, you are able to the defenses and the security are weak in so much that you are pretty confident everyone Marcus brought with him is currently in the laundromat portion. Because you were able to spot that both of these people are carrying weapons. When the woman like adjusts herself, you can see that there is a pistol of some kind tucked into the back like waistband of her pants. And when the guy pulls out one of his shirts and like raises his arm to like shake it out before he folds it, you can see that he has like a sidearm holster under his jacket. So you're pretty confident that they are here as like Marcus's undercover muscle, but you are pretty sure because the bar is empty as far as you can tell, except for Sheila, Marcus, Maeve, and now Ellis and Jaxper.
When do I get that information? Would it be before I came in?
How quickly would you relay that, Charis? Or 2019?
As soon as I spot it,
Okay.
I'd like to like beam it over.
Then yes, yeah, you get that information from your companion before you even walk into the building.
Okay, well, then I don't walk up to Marcus.
Okay.
I walk up to whichever one is closer. I'm not going to ask like the full layout of the
Yeah.
laundry. And just like when Jax and I walk in, just walk up to the closer one. Like, you here for the meet?
It's the very tired looking woman, and she like kind of sits up with a start as you talk to her, and she says, "What?
Marcus in the back. Yeah, you're here for the meeting with Marcus in the back, right?" And then I like look over the other guy. I'm like, "You too?"
The woman like fumbles for her words for a second. The guy,
Oh no, that's fine. You're probably not going to be talking much, but why don't we all go back to the bar and have ourselves a sit down chat? After you.
the guy shakes his like the guy just like kind of like shakes his head like.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did y'all think I was dumb or this was my first time at an underground criminal organization meeting? You know, I used to be in this gang, right?
Marcus from the bar sort of like calls out to you like, "Ellis, could you stop tormenting my underlings, please?"
Listen, if I can't hassle the new staff, what's even the point of meeting with the underground gang?
Look, just have a drink, talk business. And then he like looks at the two of them and he says, "Y'all are doing a great job. I appreciate you being here."
Super good job. Those shirts don't fit you, by the way.
Man, you never say you appreciate me, Ellis.
I have openly had a heart-to-heart conversation with you on the streets of Mars. I bought you a milkshake. We
You did
had a
buy me a
bonding
milkshake.
moment.
You did buy me a milkshake. I take it back. I take it back. The milkshake is worth it.
We've had our quarterly review.
All right.
Sit down the bar.
Yeah, Marcus. So same thing I said before. Marcus, like as you get into the bar, Marcus stands up, moves one stool over, gestures for you to sit between himself and Maeve.
Hey, Maeve.
Ellis.
Sit down. Like, so what's everyone having at our secret clandestine meeting here at the laundromat? It's been so long, I don't know what I want.
I mean, it was he holds up his glass and he says, "I mean, it used to be whiskey."
Does she still have like umbrellas? Is she still doing like the Mai Tai thing? That's like with none of the ingredients that's in a Mai Tai, but it's kind of pink.
I think so. He like leans over and says, "Sheila, you got any of them little umbrellas anymore?" And she says, "Yeah, I about have one or two." And she like pulls open the drawer.
Yeah, do one of those weird Mai Tais that doesn't taste right.
Yeah, she like starts going through stuff, and she does in fact. She makes you a Mai Tai. It does not taste exactly right, and it comes in this like very beat up old like vibrantly orange plastic mugs with like a faded logo on the side that you can see reads in very faded letters, the Parrot Head, Independence, Mars.
This is one of Gus's. Oh my! I never put that together.
Reminds me, I need to get my my frijoles mug from you.
Oh, that's true. I do have that here. Yeah. Okay. So you get a little like
Marcus. Yeah, we're all here.
Mhm.
So let's do the part where you tell me the thing you need.
All right. Fair enough. Straight to business. I understand. Ellis, you care about this community?
Do I care about this community?
You care about this city?
No.
It's a damn shame.
Do you?
I do.
You run a gang.
I do. I love this place.
Yep. If we're not going to note the hypocrisy in that one, let's keep moving. All right.
I care less for the place that it has become in recent years, but at its core, at its heart, the people, I think this is a great place. But like so many places, people from outside keep coming in, making things worse for folk. Trying to change it into something that it just ain't meant to be.
Okay, got it. I'm reading your, down home country nationalism. Let's go.
You know much about Zone, Ellis?
Zone?
Zone.
Is that a podcast or a...
No, it's a beverage company.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. I mean, I've had a zone, whatever, the gray one with the weird... Yeah, yes, I'm familiar with the mega corporation.
Well, Ellis, you know as well as I do that they have over 100 delicious and refreshing flavors of Zone.
That does feel like it's been implanted in my subconscious at some point in the past 20 years. Yes, go on.
Exactly right. Exactly right. There's a fella, I don't know, some sort of acquisitions bigwig, I suppose, who's well, he's trying to set up shop here in San Antonio, and I mean,
Opening a soda plant?
no, what's the thing? What's the word I'm looking for? Like a branch?
Imports, exports?
Yeah, he's making a bid for
Franchise?
something like that. No, it's not a franchise. It's a mega corporation. So here's where he's making a bid at moving the headquarters right here.
I mean, okay.
You know what life is like
And
for folks.
you're worried that he and Bezos are going to fight it out in the street? Okay.
These mega corporations, Ellis, they make things worse for folk who live there. When they move in, it's basically indentured servitude. You work until you die, and then your children work until they die. And that's it.
Yeah, I mean, that's been like the only corporations that have been in this part of, the world, Marcus.
That is.
Taka owns this town, basically.
Now imagine it's between Takamagahara and this goddamn drink company.
Oh.
Where does that leave folk like me, like Sheila, like...
Well, already fucked, and I guess increasingly fucked? I mean...
Now, to my
It sounds like you need less of someone to shoot a guy, and it sounds more like you're trying to start some kind of populist uprising, which, let's do it, but I'm no, leader of men, so I don't know. I think you need something a little younger, a little prettier, maybe talk a little gooder.
No, I got full confidence that you can do it, Ellis. Full confidence.
Is that what you actually want me to do? You want me to start a populist uprising in San Antonio to take down a soda company?
Well, listen, I mean, Takamagahara, they ain't too pleased with this, I've heard.
Okay.
And I can't imagine any corporation would want to share territory with a free and independent state like Takamagahara.
Well, I mean, they're gonna have to. I don't know all the deals or whatever, but I assume Taka owns like the majority of San Antonio at this point.
Wow.
So is Zone gonna try a corporate takeover of Canal Street? I don't
There's enough real estate left independent around here that they could buy up enough to get a foothold if they want.
Sure. So, let's 1,000 points of lights it for me real quick. Here. What is it you want me to do?
I'd like you to commit a little bit of corporate espionage.
Okay. I know at least most of both those words.
I would like you to...
no, go ahead, mate.
This man, you want this man to espionage. You think this
that
man
was the part I got hung up on, too. She makes a fine
do
point.
either espionage or corporate anything.
My clothes are still dirty.
I mean, we're in a
I didn't even wash them
laundromat, for
earlier.
Christ's sakes, man.
What?
You've been in a laundromat twice today.
That's your fault. You got all pushy and gunny about it. I was gonna wash them.
Yo, he's not wrong though. You are like this on board the ship too. It is a
Listen,
problem.
a little bit of seasoning gets you that good. All right, I'm not gonna defend
Is
my
this how
clothes
you
choice.
approach cooking? Is that why that's... sorry.
Your insults to my chili have gone near enough to the line without going over, and you as well, young lady. Now listen, I have not intentionally poisoned any member of that ship or anyone else, and that one guy that almost died was not my fault. Those beans were weird, and we all knew it. Shut up, Marcus. All right.
Ellis, you're not still inflicting that chili on folk, are you?
Inflicting is a very charged term, and I will not respond to it. Again, She brings a great point. Espionage is not something I would put in my tackle box.
I mean, these days I try not to resort to such colorful terms as this, but I'm hard pressed to think of a better person at fucking shit up, Ellis.
Well, I'm great at breaking shit, but those aren't the same word. You want me to perform corporate terrorism? That might be something I can do. Stealing shit.
Signing up for things we don't want to get involved with, Ellis, please.
I mean, I don't know. I kind of hate Zone Cola too. He brings up some good points. He's really hitting the numbers. What? Go on.
I got a question, and that's what exactly are you trying to find out with this corporate espionage shenanigan?
Oh, that's true. Espionage is normally theft of identity and/or thought. So, what are we stealing?
At the end of the day, I want you to make Takamagahara angry enough that they prevent this beverage company from setting up shop here in my city.
They're trying to start a corpo war.
In so many terms. Sure.
So that you can nab some power in the interim under the guise of populist support.
I care about the people, Ellis.
Yeah, we all care about the people, Marcus. We're all very convinced by your argument, but this isn't the Channel 7 news, and I don't own property on Earth, so I'm going to go with what the reality of the situation is and kind of slice some of that fog off the cake.
Well, don't you, though?
What?
Look,
Don't you own property here on Earth?
No, I don't own any property on Earth, unless you bought me some. You've been buying me presents?
I mean, that house is still sitting there.
Oh, I never owned that, Marcus. I just lived there. And I know squatters' rights extend pretty far, but I'm pretty sure I left that to people better than me. And by people better than me, I do kind of mean the state. But I guess it could have been in my name. I mean, no one's asked me for any taxes, so I assume somebody seized it, took control of it, unless somebody's been handling that. Your people do that?
I mean, I know you didn't exactly have a picturesque childhood, but
that is a mighty polite way of telling it on Sunday. But yeah, I mean, I suppose there is the old Maldonado estate, as you put it, but I don't, again, I'm pretty sure, as we're talking about corpo conflict, I think the grinding cog of capitalism might have taken that one away from us, unless someone else is still riding on.
Well, I don't know exactly how much it might mean to you, but it's in their territory. It's in their area, Ellis. Just like this place is.
That's so strange to me, the soda company buying that shitty little house. Anyway, but okay.
Oh, they didn't buy
And
it.
I wasn't putting that out there as I'm against you coming out on top against two mega corporations. I mean, y'all are all bastards, but I don't know. You're at least a singular one. But it sounded like Jax, what were you thinking?
I think that it is too easy for us to make Taka mad. I think that what might be more useful honestly, what might be more useful is making it too expensive for them to build here. Like, if you tried that, if you just tried straight sabotage, straight fucking shit up on the ground level, like just...
Well, wouldn't construction be after they purchased? You're talking about them, like, selling out because it's too hard to put up structure.
Yeah. I'm talking about them backing out of purchasing it because it's clearly too fucked up in a region.
Well, I also can't put my people in that risk of attracting the ire of a corporation that size.
Oh, so that's why you want to put my people in that risk.
I told
yeah.
you. I did mention coming alone, Ellis.
I mean, but I have a crew. You're aware of this. You've spoken to them.
Look. I'm just saying. You want... Okay. All right.
Jax is coming
I
around.
think we can
He's ready
work
for
with-
espionage. Mabe, what are your thoughts?
How's it feeling? How's it tasting around the table? You want to start a turf war between two mega corporations while we're here on Earth? Might could blow something up.
Fun as it sounds, do we really have the time?
Well, see, this is where we pivot. That's a great point. Thank you for bringing it back on topic. Marcus, I have a counter offer. You have, well, don't groan at, man.
Oh, we're negotiating now? What is this?
Yeah, I thought, I was under the impression this was some sort of meeting of friendly forces and minds, negotiation of sorts. Unless you wanted this to be a shooting fight. Did y'all two from the laundromat, you want it to be a shooting fight? Was that what we were going for? I'll tell Shield to put up a barrier. We can all
carry on. Carry on.
Pissed. Okay. Anyway, so if you've been looking in, which I know you have, you know we're back on Earth for a purpose. We're looking for a captain who happens to still be somewhere kicking and in need of rescue. So if you could find your way around to exerting a little bit of that underground criminal intelligence network that I'm sure you're quite proud of into, you know, snapping us a few clues or leads or ideas where we might be able to find Grace or the Puritans or, you know, I'm literally forgetting Raph's character's name.
You're good. Ava Gray would be...
Yeah, like Ava or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you know, so we're trying to keep that kind of hush-hush, which I know is how you like to keep your work. But I think we could work ourselves around to a little quid pro quo here. We blow some things up. You ask some questions of some people I don't know. Things, you know, come out on top for everybody. You met Grace, probably, maybe, once. I don't know. Everybody likes Grace.
I'll be transparent with you, Ellis. I foresaw this conversation going this way.
I am a very straightforward man.
And I got no issue helping you and yours find who it is and what it is you're looking for.
Look at that.
I even looked into it already.
Oh, Marcus, you're too sweet.
And I got you a lead.
Look at this. Maeve, my old fellows are coming through. They're not all trying to kill me in the back of a bar. And who said Earth never forgives?
Oh, no, I do think he absolutely would still kill you in the back of a bar.
Well, that just makes him a good friend. That just means he's known me for more than 5 years. Ain't that right, Marcus? Yeah, that's it. That's the look of a man. Know me. Anyway, okay.
You know, well, let's get to that information in good time. First, let's conclude our business arrangement, shall we? And then I will happily give you the information that I have procured for you.
You know, I'm on board. This sounds like a plan, because the hell, you know, any opportunity to make things a little harder on Taka and on literally any other corporation at this point, sure, why not? And if it means I have to talk to fewer people like Dusty, I'm in for that too. So yeah, what do you want to...
Well, your methods and your tactics are yours to decide. It seems like you are set on involving your compatriots, and far be it from me.
Up to them,
well,
yeah, they probably will.
Far be it from me to set any rules, arbitrary rules in that regard. I understand people care for one another in the bonds they form. I'm glad you found yourself a family, Ellis. Warms my heart.
I feel like there's a but coming, Marcus.
No, not at all. I trust y'all to take care of business. And speaking of that business, I believe contracts and permits are due to be signed in about a week's time. So...
Oh, okay.
You got that.
I was going to say, you want us to sign a permit? That's awfully official of you. Did you get the notary?
Oh, yeah, he's out there if you need anything notarized. He'll happily
He lives there. He lives at the table. Literally never gone.
I trust you to be professional and get the job done. And once that's concluded, y'all are free to go on your way. Well, I suppose to be clear, 3 of you are free to go on your way now, if you so choose.
I'm confused, as in, are you detaining someone?
Well, I can't
I
Yeah.
think it's you, Ellis.
let
Yeah.
you leave
Dude.
San Antonio back for Takamagahara until our business is concluded, until you've paid off what it is you owe.
Oh, you're not going to let me off planet until I do your little job for you, and this is the part where you're threatening that now ahead. Marcus, that's the kind of shit that you say to me if, like, I decide not to do the job. I was going to do the job.
I thought it was implied. I apologize. I thought you understood the terms of our
No,
arrangement.
you're doing weird threats, man. You ain't got to be like
That
that. You
ain't
don't,
a-
like, threaten the guy you're not allowed to leave town if he's going to be in town doing shit with you for you.
That ain't a threat. We established that you owe a debt to the
It's very
community.
threatening. You took a threatening tone.
Well,
Ellis, stop arguing about whether or not it was a threat and just accept the fact that he's saying if you don't do the job, you don't get to leave. There.
Yeah, bro. Don't tone police the man.
I have been told that I have a very commanding voice. That may have been what confused you.
Said that to you.
Oh, lots of folk.
That's very kind of them. Anyway, yes, I agree to your terms.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear it. The individual that you're going to want to talk to about your missing captain there. It's a rumor, so take it with a grain of salt, I suppose. But the prison, the prison camp.
What, in San Antonio? Yeah. I mean, yes, we both do.
Familiar, yeah. We word is that there's a fella came in not too long ago. Maximum security. Never let out of anybody's sight, or never let out of the guard's sight. Missing his right arm.
All right. I mean, okay, is that it? Is that all that's tying him to the Puritans, you think?
It's the best I can do.
All right, it's not nothing, but
Ain't a lot
we'll
of
work on your soda pop problem. Why don't you ask some other people about other, possibilities?
one-armed men in maximum security.
I mean, that's definitely a Willie Nelson song, but also fair. All right. Well, good talk. You didn't stipulate anything, but I did want to ask, given I haven't actually, set a soda pop company against a spaceship company before. Did you have any ideas of what you would do and what you want done there? Or do you just want general mayhem and irritation in the inflamed area?
I'll be honest with you, Ellis. I mean, I just don't have a head for this sort of thing. I wouldn't even know where to start.
Oh, you're just trying to be sweet. But fair enough.
He winks at you.
All right. We'll figure it out. In the meantime, I'm going to keep asking questions about Grace, as you know, and I hope you'll do the same. Hey, I didn't catch y'all's names from the laundromat. What with the bad shirts? Given to working for Marcus,
Yeah.
and y'all know our names. So what? Tom and Jerry, or who y'all?
Well, that right there's there's Natasha, and that right there's Bear.
Bear? You guys got another bear? What happened to... Is that still Bear? Was a little young. That's new Bear, right?
Yeah, it's new Bear.
Okay. Fair. All right. Well, let me tab up. And then, I guess we'll go fight a corporation?
I sure would appreciate it. Oh, Sheila, it's on my tab. Don't worry, I got this.
Sheila let you run a tab?
What can I say? Folks around here respect me.
Impressive in the suit, to be honest. All right. Okay. Sounds good. Like knocks on the bar is like, I'll try and only kill corporate stooges. All right. See you around.
I'll put the word out, Ellis. None of the folks from the neighborhood or the boys or nothing should mess with you.
Wouldn't putting the word out make them more inclined to mess with me?
That's a fair point. I won't put the word out.
Yeah, I'd appreciate that more. That you just kind of forget them around. All right, I'll see you. Like rolls out.
Yeah, he if you guys want to leave first, he will wait. If you want him to leave first and then you're left behind in the bar, that's fine too. Up to you.
No, I mean I'll leave. I'm
All
fine.
right, cool.
Like, and honestly, I'll like be like, all right, Maeve. Or do you want to keep drinking? I don't know.
I'm good.
All right.
It's been a pleasure, Miss Delaney. And then he lets you go.
Why does Marcus know your last name?
Yeah, turns out he's been looking up who you run with. So he knew who I was.
I wonder how much he knows about Jax. Jax, which one do you think he got?
I don't know, man.
Of your many aliases is all I mean. Because, you know.
I mean, depends on how far he looked. Like, I'm not worrying about it.
Wow, that Marcus. It's going to be a shame when we probably have to kill him at the end of this. Anyway.
What?
Why
Why
we
is it
have to
always
kill
killing
him? We don't
people?
have to kill the guy. Look, he's a gang leader in a neighborhood, and if we kill him, somebody much worse will just take over. Who gives a shit?
I will say, though, the fact that you didn't shoot him in this initial conversation is a sign of improvement.
I'm just saying, Ellis is learning.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that because otherwise I am dressed like this for nothing.
Well, look, it could have gone that way. It depended on his offer.
Mm-hmm.
And how he made it.
That's true.
And, you know, he made good choices. And also was willing to help us about Grace, because he could have been a real tit about that. So
Very
welcome.
proud of you, Ellis.
You're growing.
And also, Marcus is just a really nice guy. Just a really nice guy.
Just a nice guy.
Just a nice guy. Yeah. All right. Cool. Charis, are you 2019? Are you sticking around to finish your laundry as like a to keep your cover? Because like you've seen no indicator that they suspect anything, or are you just like turning and walking out with everybody else?
Well, Marcus is probably leaving pretty shortly after us, I would bet, too.
Yeah, probably.
I've dropped Charis.
Right.
I've not dropped my sticky fingers.
Mm.
So I think what I would like to do while I'm still incognito as I don't know why I keep wanting to call him Nathan, but his name is not Nathan.
His name is not Nathan. His name is Marcus.
Marcus. Can I try to like remote hack his handheld?
Yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah.
and try to like see everything he's got on us, and see if he's like holding out on information.
Yeah, you can definitely do that, and it's a really good idea. So you are gonna roll. Are you just doing hacking and cracking? I assume.
Yeah, hacking
gonna
and cracking.
Dispatch a cicada to land on his device and then try to get into it that way.
Yep.
Okay, you're gonna discharge that move and roll with Slick.
$10.
Cool. Yeah, with a 10, that's definitely going to be enough. You break in with minimum fuss and choose 1, so it's going to take you a while to get in. You'll have to trigger an alarm or alert someone in order to get what you want, or you'll have to leave traces of your incursion behind that incriminate you.
Let's say it'll take a while to get in.
Okay, so you're going to have to leave this particular drone with him for a while. And then you'll be able to maybe get some information, you'd guess probably by tomorrow. His device is particularly well encrypted, but you get the sense that it is sort of like an it is sort of like an out-of-the-box affair, right? Like he just bought a handheld with particularly good encryption, but he doesn't know how to do it himself or anything like that. Cool. Okay. So yeah, you are gonna be able to get that information at some point. Shortly thereafter, they start to roll out. He like gets up from the bar. He chats with Sheila for a few minutes after everybody else leaves, and then he stands up after settling up and starts to walk out. The person he identified as Natasha, the very tired-looking younger lady, stands up to follow him out, and so does the older man who was folding his laundry. And as he passes you, he like sort of stops and like tips the cowboy hat that he's wearing at you and says, evening, ma'am.
I just give a knowing smile, and comment on how mild the weather is today.
You gonna be out much longer? Not really safe for a beautiful woman like you to be wandering alone out here.
I'm a big girl. I think I can handle myself.
Kind of gives a hearty chuckle and says, "Oh, I'm sure that's true. You take care of yourself."
I'll see you soon.
That certainly would be a stroke of luck. And yeah, it's gonna follow his boss out. So he looks sort of past you and says, work calls, and afraid I have to cut this short. And then goes to catch up with Marcus.
Damn, I should have flirted more and asked where he'd be.
Yeah.
2019, making connections with Bear.
It's a good guy to know. Probably. All right. Did y'all have anything else you wanted to do? You trying to put your heads together and figure out some of what's what you're gonna take on here? Do you have any loose ends that you needed to tie up before you start this next contract, or y'all feeling pretty good?
I mean, massive emotional and existential ones, yes, but practically no.
Well, that's the whole point. We ignore all of our emotional problems and throw ourselves into this totally above board corporate espionage instead.
You're right. That's exactly it.
Mm-hmm.
Just like real life.
Yeah.
Just like real life.
One of the effects that I can choose from for my toxins is that they can remove the target's inhibitions.
Mm-hmm.
And I like super want to dose Maeve with that and just see what happens.
Stop dosing people.
Don't do that. Why would you do that? She's never gonna talk to us ever again.
Maybe
like
a
already.
cry, maybe a good long. Just
oh, you want to
like
with mushrooms help her work through her.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know that form of therapy where they chemically lower your inhibitions until you can cry? That's a thing, right?
That's not how ketamine treatments work. So, but it's also not.
It does 2019 know that.
How ketamine treatments work.
Well, on that note, yeah, I think we're pretty good here. I think we did a lot tonight.
Yeah.
Arguably too much. So, let's call it a night. Thank you, everyone. If you watched with us tonight, if you chatted, if you followed, if it was your first time watching, or we haven't been doing this for that long, your 10th time watching, we really appreciate it. If you donated or gifted us subs very kindly or anything like that, it means the world to us, and it all goes towards a good cause, so thank you so much. The next stream that's going to be happening on the channel is going to be one of our Tuesday side quests. That's where we play video games instead of tabletop games. Benefits the same cause. I think I'm going to be doing Hades again on Tuesday. Tuesday,
yeah.
and then Thursday, Andrew, the other GM, is going to be doing Hollow Knight, and then Sunday is going to be Pulp Diction at the same time, which is the Call of Cthulhu campaign that the other group does, and that benefits, and the Hollow Knight benefits the Surfrider Foundation, which is a great ocean conservation group. So check it out if any of that sounds interesting to you. Don't forget to follow if you want to know when we go live. If you want to know about scheduling stuff, you can follow us on Twitter. It is at live from the APOC, because Apocalypse doesn't fit. And we also have a Discord community if you'd be interested in joining that. It's a great space. People hang out. We're about to start doing community nights on Mondays, where we're going to be watching the extended editions of the Lord of the Rings films in honor of the 20th anniversary. And that's going to be a lot of fun, and we're all going to be really tired. But it's going to be good.
And drunk.
And probably drunk on Monday nights, but you know. It's 2021, and sometimes that's all we have. Cool.
As we've established, death is an illusion, and you know.
Yep. You'll live forever, but menacingly. So yeah. All right. On that note, I'm really tired. We're all really tired. We're gonna call it a night. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.